Civilization Devours. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 251. Terrence Pirates encountered pirates again. The people on the ship were still calm. With the powerful performance of Mr. Zhu before, they did not think pirates were so scary. But the captain's face changed. Trident, Terrence Pirates. When he spoke, his body could not help but tremble a few times. Terrence Pirates, are they very strong? One person saw that the captain was so scared and looked down on him. The Terrence Pirates are one of the 7 marshals of the Black Sea. They burn, kill, rob, and do all kinds of evil. The captain murmured, no one survived the passenger ship they targeted. It is said that they will make human skulls into wine glasses and extract bones and turn them into scepters. What? The man with contempt on his face just now was horrified. Mr. Zhu, by the way, please ask Mr. Zhu to come out. The captain immediately thought of the most powerful person on the Bohinia. Only he could make the Terrence Pirates afraid. The captain also thought about escaping, but now the distance between the two sides is too close. I am afraid that before the Bohinia changes its course, the other party will immediately chase up. The pirate ship Terrence slowly sailed over. 3 people stood at the bow, looking at prey. These 3 people came from 3 different countries. They met in the Black Sea and had similar interests, so they immediately united. The eldest was Terrence, the second was Dalton, and the third was Fast. Terrence stood in the front, with white but rough skin, wearing a thick black cloak, a black tricorn hat, a small mustache at the corner of his mouth, and light blue pupils. Behind the 3 were many members of the pirate group, many of whom had scars on their bodies and hands, and fierce eyes. Oh, my God, look at what we are seeing. A group of super fat sheep. Terrence laughed loudly, speaking in a foreign language, but the people on the Bohinia could understand it. The pirates behind him also laughed. At first, the young men and women on the Bohinia didn't care much, but after the news about the Terrence pirate group spread among the people, it immediately caused a panic. The pirate captain Terrence, the vice captains Dalton and Fast, all 3 are at the high level of miracle masters. It is said that Terrence has even touched the threshold of the law scholar and may break through at any time. On the Bohinia, only Zhu is a high-level miracle master. Little guys, who is the leader among you? Terrence asked. Everyone crowded on the deck. Facing Terrence's pressure, no one dared to answer for a while. Who is making trouble? Zhu pushed everyone aside and stepped forward. Zhu. Everyone calmed down a little, looking forward to Zhu's ability to show his power again and bloodbath the Terrence pirate group. It seems that you are the leader. Terrence looked over. Zhu's eyes condensed, and he felt a huge pressure from Terrence and the other 2. The people behind him also felt something from Zhu's attitude, and their hearts sank. It seems that Zhu is not very sure. Listen, old man, hand over all the money and treasures on the ship now, and then I will consider letting you. Terrence paused slightly. What do you want us to do? Old Zhu said in a deep voice. The young men and women behind him also pricked up their ears and listened carefully. In their opinion, as long as the treasures were handed over, the Terrence pirates should not make things too difficult. After all, they were just asking for money. Although they were a little unwilling, there was really no way out given the situation. Terrence smiled mockingly. For God's sake, I will make your death less painful. Upon hearing this, old Zhu was furious. This guy dared to play tricks on him. Everyone on the Bohinia looked at each other, feeling that the situation was not good. Old Zhu stretched out his hand and pointed forward, and the robbery thunder appeared. 9 thunders hit the Terrence pirate ship directly. Terrence was not afraid at all. He smiled coldly and flicked towards the sky. A 5-meter-wide skull phantom surrounded by black air appeared out of thin air and swallowed the thunder in the sky. A sizzling sound was heard, and the lightning in the sky was swallowed up into nothingness. Hey, old man, I bet you didn't eat today, otherwise how could you only do this? Terrence shrugged. Zhu's face changed. Judging from the fact that the other party easily resolved his attack, this battle was more likely to be dangerous. Fast shook his head. Boss, his strength is not worth your effort. Let me meet this old guy. As he spoke, his figure floated into the air and gradually rose higher. Old guy, let's fight in the sky. Zhu did not move and glanced at Terrence. Terence obviously understood his concerns. Just go up with peace of mind. I won't take the opportunity to attack these little guys. Zulao understood that if these three people were to rush up, he would definitely not be able to resist. Since the other party was willing to fight alone, he might as well take advantage of this opportunity. Even if facing a round-robin battle, it is better than being beaten up by a group. When Zulao also soared into the sky and his figure was level with Fast, the other party laughed sarcastically. Old man, do you know why I chose to fight you in the sky? It's because I'm worried that fighting below will dismantle your big cruise ship. After all, it will also be our trophy. Stop talking nonsense. Zulao moved and launched an attack. Although a little old, his figure was still as agile as an eagle. With one strike, thunder suddenly rose. Fast was not to be outdone. Flames suddenly emerged from his body, scorching all around. Terence did keep his promise and did not take the opportunity to attack. Both sides on the sea looked up at the battle in the sky. Because the distance was far, the people on the Bauhinia could not see clearly. They could only see two small dots, crisscrossing and going back and forth. The overwhelming momentum of the Miracle Master was still transmitted even at a long distance. Old man, there's something. Fast's eyes flashed with a ferocious look, and his momentum rose again. He used heavy hands to suppress Zulao. After all, he was young and fierce. Compared with the pampered Zulao, his fighting power was much stronger. At the critical moment, a short dagger suddenly appeared in Zulao's hand and stabbed towards Fast's abdomen. On the dagger, the power of the laws was surging. A fierce look flashed in Zulao's eyes. You are too young to fight me. There is no escape. Even if the Miracle Master has the ability to teleport, it is only relative to ordinary people. By bursting at extreme speed, this illusion is created. But Zulao's speed is not inferior to Fast, and it is impossible for him to dodge it. With a clang. When the dagger stabbed Fast's abdomen, it did not achieve the effect that Zulao expected. When Zulao was stunned, Fast's eyes flashed with a playful smile. He suddenly punched out and hit Zulao's abdomen, causing the opponent's body to shoot towards the sea like a cannonball. Do you think that you are the only one who possesses a low-level treasure? The dagger cut a small hole in Fast's clothes, and the armor glowing with cold light could be vaguely seen inside. Chapter 252, Recognize the situation and give up fantasy. On the Bauhinia, three masters of the initial stage of Miracle Masters jumped up one after another, using their miracle power to transform into a soft net to catch Zulao who was falling from the sky. Zulao spat out a mouthful of blood, his expression was listless. An atmosphere of despair lingered among the people on the ship. Zulao was defeated, and the opponent only sent Fast, who ranked third, and the eldest and second had not yet made a move. Who else on the Bauhinia could turn the tide? Li Jingshuo said with some difficulty, Sir, we are willing to hand over all our money, just hope that you can give us a way out. Death, this word was once so far away for Li Jingshuo. He has an extraordinary family background and a bright future. If nothing unexpected happens, he can live for many years. When he grows up, he will gradually inherit the family group. He still has a lot of things he hasn't enjoyed enough: food, wine, beauties. Li Jingshuo regretted that he shouldn't have come on this trip. He hated the captain and the first mate even more. Why did these two rubbish bring the ship to the Black Sea? Looking at Terence's figure that was like a god or demon, dominating the fate of everyone, Li Jingshuo finally understood what the most valuable thing in the world was. It was power. If he had the strength of a law scholar, Terence could only kneel and lick like a dog, but the current situation was just the opposite. Xiao Yankee was also afraid. No one knew the notoriety of the 7 marshals of the Black Sea better than him. They were a group of demons in human skin. Xiao Yiren hid behind Xiao Yankee. His head was confused. The flag set by his brother was really realized. After a depressing silence, Terence spoke. Hand over all your money? I think your cruise ship is very good, and it can probably be sold for a good price. So, you want to give up the cruise ship and swim back by yourself? Li Jingshuo's face changed when he heard this. Swim back? How is this possible? Now it is still an unknown distance from the coast. In his opinion, the boy with the sailboat was doomed, and would be overturned by the storm sooner or later, not to mention them who didn't even have a sailboat. Sir, I can transfer money through my mobile phone and pay a little more money. I hope you can allow us to continue using this cruise ship. Li Jingshuo said. Yes, I am willing to pay more money. The other young men and women responded one after another. Everyone looked at Terence expectantly, hoping that he would agree to the deal. If Terence insisted on killing them, they would naturally not be able to transfer money. At that time, Terence, who didn't know the password, would be useless even if he got their mobile phones or bank cards. Pirates are just seeking money, so this deal can obviously be done. Terence smiled. It seems that you don't have the habit of playing with your mobile phone? You can take out your mobile phone and have a look. Hearing this, some people's faces began to change. He remembered that he had taken out his mobile phone to check before, and it seemed that there was no signal. How to transfer money without signal? In fact, most people know this, but they just forgot it in a hurry. Now take out the mobile phone and take a look. Sure enough, the signal grid is empty. Black Sea, no signal. Even if you have a mobile phone that can receive satellite signals, it is useless. We can sail out of the Black Sea first and find a place with a signal to transfer money. One person suggested. In the expectant eyes of everyone, Terence flatly refused. Little guys, stop struggling in vain. I will not leave the Black Sea. Just go to die obediently. My lord, speaking of it, the status of our group is not low. In Huaki country, we are all well-known figures. My family also knows a law scholar. Li Jingshuo saw that soft methods did not work, so he used hard methods, and his tone was slightly threatening. Huaki country. Terence's eyes flashed with a trace of fear. Once, Huaki country also sent a fleet to sweep the Black Sea. At that time, Terence was still an unknown little person. At that time, he saw with his own eyes that those high and mighty big figures in the Black Sea were chased by the Huaki fleet like dead dogs, running around everywhere. Hukigo is very strong, but will those guys in the Hall of Fame send someone to help you? Terence laughed. As for the law scholar you mentioned, we are just friends, so I guess he won't help you. Li Jingsuo's heart sank again. Terence was right. Although the law scholar had a relationship with the Li family, why would he come all the way to avenge them? Even if he really came, it was hard to say whether he could find the Terence pirates. Li Jingsuo suddenly pointed at Xiao Yiren in the back. This is a student of Mingdao University. I think the adults should give Mingdao University some face. Xiao Yanqiu glared at Li Jingsuo. This guy, in order to survive, directly pulled Xiao Yiren out as a shield. But Xiao Yanqiu couldn't say much. Even if Li Jingsuo didn't do this, the result would be the same. Terence was ready to slaughter everyone. Mingdao University. Terence had also heard of the reputation of this school. It's called a school, but it's actually a superpower with many experts. After thinking about it, Terence smiled again. Let's not talk about whether Mingdao University has the energy to stand up for a student. If I kill you all, who'll know it was me? As soon as these words came out, everyone's heart was chilled and they completely lost hope. Little beauty, you look pretty good. I didn't notice you just now. Come here and let me see you. After Terence finished speaking, he noticed Xiao Yiren's appearance and his eyes lit up. Xiao Yiren not only did not step forward, but took several steps back in a row, looking flustered. It's too far away, you can't come over, right? Then I can only provide you with some help. Terence stretched out his hand and grabbed the opposite ship. Xiao Yiren suddenly felt that his body was restrained by an invisible force and was about to take off. Just when Terence was about to tow it over, an inopportune voice sounded. What a lousy place. There's not even a signal. Could it be that my phone is broken? I spent 10,000 yuan on it. Terence let go and looked in the direction of the voice. In the distance, a small sailboat was sailing leisurely. A young man was sitting on the boat, studying his phone intently. The young man seemed to have noticed something was wrong. He raised his head and looked forward, where two huge ships were facing each other. In comparison, this sailboat was pitifully small. Glancing around, the young man noticed that Mr. Zhu had blood on his mouth and a listless look, and couldn't help laughing. Hey, old man, did you offend someone by being too arrogant? Look at how you got beaten. The other party was too disrespectful to the elderly. On Terence's pirate ship, everyone was stunned, and then burst into laughter. Where did this funny guy come from? Could it be that he hasn't recognized the situation yet? Chapter 253? Give me Chen a favor. The young man on the sailboat was naturally Chen Mou. Old Zhu was sitting on the deck, receiving treatment. He almost vomited blood when he heard Chen Mou's mocking words. This brat. If it were normal times, he would have to teach him a lesson, but now he was not in the mood. Alice, kid, you shouldn't have come. It would have been better to go around while the distance was still far. Now I'm afraid you will be buried with us. Old Zhu said weakly. Chen Mou was a little surprised that this old man was so kind now and still cared about him. Could it be that a dying man's words are kind? His injuries were not fatal, and the threat was naturally from the opposite side. Chen Mou said, I don't feel any danger. Why do you want to go around? Old Zhu rolled his eyes when he heard this. This kid, I'm afraid his cultivation is too weak. Didn't he notice the strong threat on the opposite pirate ship? Not only is his cultivation weak, but he also has no eyesight. Seeing us confronting each other, he still came to join in the fun. Xiao Yiren also looked worried. Not only was she worried about her own situation, but she also felt sorry for Chen Mou's desperate situation. It seemed that the other party's legendary journey would end here after all. The sea is indeed a place full of dangers. Although there are open and secret struggles in Huaki, it is generally much safer than the sea. A small palace of the Hall of Fame suppresses all evil spirits. Hello, my name is Xiao Yiren. What's your name? Xiao Yiren asked Chen Mou. She didn't have any ideas about Chen Mou, but she admired Chen Mou's courage to go out to sea alone, and was eager to know his name. Perhaps in the near future, both of them will be killed by these pirates. If you don't ask again, there will be no chance. Xingho Chen Mou. Chen Mou said indifferently. Putting Xingho before the name is the practice of many students when they go out for training, and Chen Mou just followed suit. After reporting this name, Chen Mou felt that his connection with Xingho Academy seemed to be closer. Xingho is not just an empty word, a place for cultivation. It will carry the best 4 years of Chen Mou's life. Today, I am proud of the school. Tomorrow, the school will be proud of me. Xingho, Chen Mou. Xiao Yiren murmured. Xiao Yanqiu and Li Jingshu, who were standing by, were shocked. They thought that this kid was a fool who didn't know how high the sky was, but they didn't expect that he was a student of Xinghe. For a moment, Chen Mou's image became tall in their eyes. It's a pity that it was useless, and in the end it was all a word of death. Have you finished talking? Terence was a little impatient. If you're done, then I should send you to see God. Chen Mou. I hope you can give me, Chen, a face and let them go. Since they are all Huaki people, Chen Mou plans to help them along the way, and he has no good feelings towards pirates. The pirates laughed loudly. Give you, Chen, a face? Who do you think you are? Terence said sarcastically. Poor little guy, your joke is not very funny. Everyone on the Bahinio looked at Chen Mou in shock. This man probably didn't realize the situation. Joke? Sorry, I rarely joke because I don't have much sense of humor. Chen Mou's face suddenly sank, and everyone nearby felt a murderous atmosphere. Just now, he was still a young student with a smile on his face, harmless to people and animals. The next moment, Chen Mou suddenly turned into a cold and murderous judge whose words were unquestionable. The role change was only in an instant. A cyclone slowly rotated around Chen Mou, and the seawater on all sides boiled, as if worshipping a king. Terence was stunned, his eyes became serious, and he began to reevaluate the threat level of Chen Mou. On the Bahinia, everyone was even more shocked, and they couldn't believe that this was the power that Chen Mou could show. Since you have committed many evils and do not repent, I have no choice but to kill you. The cold words came out of Chen Mou's mouth, like a judgment. If you want to ask why, it is because this is the responsibility of every Huaki person. Many countries have sent elites to fight bloody battles in the starry sky for the survival of mankind, but these fly-and dog people will only mess up the rear. This group of people should be killed. Terence was surprised at first, and then sneered, little guy, it's useless to talk big, fists are the hard truth. Dalton, you go and meet this kid. Fast had just finished a battle. Although he was not injured, overall, he consumed a lot. And Chen Mou was not worth Terence's personal action. Sending Dalton, the second in command, would surely be easy to deal with. Boy, let me meet you, a battle in the sky. Dalton showed a cruel smile on his face. Young people, full of blood and vigor, always like to fantasize about chivalry, but they don't know that with his little strength, he can only be beaten by himself. It would be nice to chop off this kid's skull and make a wine glass. Yes. Chen Mou's figure gradually floated into the air. Dalton also soared into the sky. On his hands, 2 metal gloves were emitting cold light, and a wave of law power was waving. If Fast's law weapon is armor for defense, then Dalton wins with absolute destructive power. Judging from Dalton's ranking, his strength is stronger than Fast. The magic dragon blood burning technique was activated, and the sea swallow art was activated. Chen Mou drew his sword and a cold light illuminated the world. No nonsense, the first move was a killing move. Dalton made a move at the same time, the metal gloves lit up, and a wave of law spread out, colliding fiercely with Chen Mou's sword light. Like a small nuclear bomb exploding, the energy shock wave spread in all directions in the sky, even affecting the ship. Terrence raised his hand and flicked it to resist this wave, while the Bohemia deployed an energy barrier to protect the hull. As soon as they fought, Dalton was shocked. He thought he could easily defeat this guy, but he didn't expect that the power displayed by the other party was not inferior to his own. Chen Mou had a blank expression on his face. The sea swallow art was fully fired, and the surrounding energy gathered in an endless stream. Chen Mou was a miracle master of the first stage, and the other party was a miracle master of the high stage, but Chen Mou did not take Dalton seriously. At most, Terrence could make Chen Mou feel a little pressure. Originally, with Chen Mou's strength and means, he could tie with a miracle master of the middle stage, or even have a slight advantage. What's more, now is on the sea. Dalton can also use the power of the sea. This is the ability of the miracle master, borrowing the power of the world. But in general, the energy that can be mobilized is still relatively small. And Chen Mou can control the power of the ocean. Can you spy on the power of the sea? Chen Mou shook his hand towards the other party from a distance, and Dalton immediately felt that it became more difficult to borrow the power of the ocean. Even the wind in the sky did not listen to his command. Chapter 254. First kill. I pray for the power from the secret space, explode for me. Dalton felt that it was becoming much more difficult for him to control the power of heaven and earth. He immediately burned his blood and burst out fiercely, breaking through Chen Mou's restraints. Chen Mou was not surprised. After all, the other party's realm was higher than his, and it was normal that he could not restrain him. If they were in the same realm, he would have no power to fight back in front of Chen Mou. The two collided again, a life and death duel. The power of Dalton's boxing gloves increased again, and the ripples of the lore rushed out, and every move had endless oppression. The air exploded, Dalton turned into a god of war, and the sky trembled. Chen Mou swung his sword, and the sharp will of cutting was radiated. The sword will crossed the sky and could kill all things in the world. The tangible, the intangible, the weak, the solid, the decayed, and the indestructible were all swept away by my sword. The two sides fought for a moment, and they had already exchanged thousands of moves. Dalton's mood, from the initial disdain, now has a trace of fear. There have been a few bloodstains on his body. The other party held a sword in his hand, his clothes fluttering, towering like a mountain, calm like a lake. There was no anxiety, no joy, only absolute indifference. No, this is impossible. The fear in Dalton's heart grew. He wanted to suppress this emotion, but it was like a weed, constantly emerging from his heart, killing some, and growing new ones. Dalton has been in the world for many years, and has seen and fought countless people, some weaker than him, and some stronger than him, but none of them is like Chen Mou. Dalton had a feeling that he was a mediocre and struggling ant in the world. And the other party was high above. He said he wanted to deprive me of my life, so I could only wait to be killed. What's so great about a kid who pretends to be a ghost, and he's still a student? Dalton shouted loudly, as if he wanted to find a little courage from his words. Fight, and make a quick decision. Dalton's blood burned, and the power of heaven and earth came to bless him. The brilliance of the boxing glove surged again, and the majesty of the lore radiated out. In the human world, there are laws, and in the world, there are rules. These rules can be used by high-level mystics. Go to hell. Dalton punched out suddenly, and the sky suddenly dimmed. The nearby light was extracted by the boxing gloves and became part of the energy. With the power of heaven and earth, the punch was unstoppable. This was Dalton's killing blow. Well, goodbye. Chen Mou's words were light, and there was not much emotion. The sword light was cold, illuminating the world. The dark sky was lit up by Chen Mou again. Dalton's figure flew out weakly, and his head and body were separated. Chen Mou stood in the sky, holding a 3-foot green sword, like a god and demon descending to the world. Although in the future memories, Chen Mou had experienced many bloody battles and slaughtered many lives, but that was a memory after all. This was the first time Chen Mou killed someone. Chen Mou gently clenched his fists, savoring this feeling. Although he felt a little uncomfortable, he soon calmed down. Kill those who deserve to be killed, and you will have a clear conscience. Countless people looked at this scene in shock, their hearts beating fiercely. Terrence's eyes finally showed a trace of solemnity and shock. The members of the pirate group felt that their throats were being grasped and they had difficulty breathing. The brutal and violent vice captain died just like that. They didn't even see the final blow just now. Dalton! Fast exclaimed, not daring to accept this fact. At the same time, he also had a faint sense of relief in his heart. Fortunately, it was not me who went up just now. That old man was much easier to bully than this young man. No, it was this young man who was much more brutal than the old man. Everyone on the Bahinio was even more shocked. Is this the fighting power of Xinghu students? Li Jingshuo and Xiao Yankee looked at each other in surprise. Xiao Yiren covered his red lips to prevent himself from exclaiming. It turns out that he is so strong. No wonder he dared to wander alone on the blue waves. Zulao's eyes were even more complicated, and he sighed, I am old after all. Dalton's body fell from the sky and hit the sea. On Terrence's pirate ship, a sailor was about to jump into the sea to pick him up, but suddenly saw Chen Mou's cold eyes looking at him, and he couldn't help but shudder and stopped. So, who's next? Chen Mou glanced at the whole scene, and his words were like a judgment from the abyss. Fast, come with me. Terrence smiled cruelly. This kid was too arrogant. Terrence didn't feel too sad about Dalton's death. The Black Sea was a place where people were indifferent. But for those who dared to challenge His Majesty, he must fight back fiercely. Terrence was confident that with his strength, he could suppress Chen Mou, but he would not fight Chen Mou alone. What morality did the pirates tell you? How can a single fight be as fun as a group fight? Fast's face sank and nodded. This kid is a bit weird, but it doesn't matter. No matter how strong he is, can he be stronger than the two of them? After the initial shock, Fast was already thinking about how to divide the treasures that Dalton had placed on the ship after his death. Thinking of this, Fast's mood became inexplicably happy. The two of them soared into the sky, split into two directions, and faced Chen Mou from a distance. Terrence held a trident in his hand, and the power of the law fluctuated violently. Fast's armor was also stimulated to exert its power, not only defending the part in front of his chest, but also extending a strange film to cover every part of his body. Kill! The three moved together and collided violently. The power of heaven and earth was divided into three parts. The warring parties fiercely seized control, and both intended to control the source of the other's power. But before long, Terrence and Fast felt that this ideal was a bit unrealistic. The wind in the sky and the water in the depths of the ocean rushed to provide energy for Chen Mou. He was the monarch between heaven and earth, and his body shook, and power rolled in. Terrence and Fast could only barely get a share of the spoils under Chen Mou's suppression. Fortunately, they were high-level miracle masters, and their own strength and miracle power were also very strong. At this time, the two finally felt what Dalton felt. Damn it, this kid is too weird. Fast was a little irritated. Don't be afraid, no matter how strong he is, how can he beat the two of us together? Terrence moved, and the trident shone brightly, and the terrifying energy fluctuations rushed straight to Chen Mou. Fast also cooperated on the side. He waved his hand, and lightning intertwined between heaven and earth. Under his guidance, thunder dragons rushed towards Chen Mou. Chen Mou was calm and silent, as majestic as a mountain, and raised his sword to deal with the wind and rain from all directions. The power of heaven and earth was bestowed on him, the will of the storm burned in his heart, and the physique of the magic dragon allowed him to crisscross between heaven and earth. The two sides clashed in succession, and the ripples of power spread from the sky, stirring up waves. Chapter 255, Killing Two People. The battle in the sky gradually intensified, and Chen Mou also felt a little pressure. After all, the two people on the opposite side were high-level miracle masters, so their strength was naturally not weak. Terrence came with a trident in his hand, and his figure was as agile as a dragon. Chen Mou raised his sword to block, and with a hum, the world shook, and the terrifying wave directly shook the clouds floating nearby. Fast was on the side, waiting for an opportunity to attack, feeling a little depressed. His low-level weapon was armor for defense, and he was not good at attacking. Opportunity. Fast's eyes suddenly lit up, and he found that Chen Mou had revealed a small flaw under Terrence's attack. Purgatory Thunder Dragon. Fast clenched his right hand, and instantly condensed a silver dragon made of lightning. The sound of the dragon's roar shook the world, and in an instant, it pounced on Chen Mou's side. Terrence also tacitly increased his strength, making it difficult for Chen Mou to dodge and counterattack. At the critical moment, a layer of black armor suddenly appeared on Chen Mou's body. The magic armor appeared. The Thunder Dragon hit Chen Mou, only causing his body to shake slightly. Then, the Thunder Dragon disintegrated on its own. "Shit, this guy is too abnormal." Fast cursed in a low voice. "See how many moves you can block." Fast frantically extracted energy from heaven and earth and condensed lightning. 1, 2, 3. 10 thunder dragons emerged in succession and slapped Chen Mou frantically. Roar. The sound of dragon roars resounded through heaven and earth, but this sound did not come from the thunder dragon, but from Chen Mou's mouth. With a roar, the thunder dragon exploded, and before it reached Chen Mou, it was decomposed into lightning and dissipated into the void. On the sea, the people on the two boats closely followed a battle in the sky. There, Chen Mou fought two people alone and did not lose. In addition to using swordsmanship, Chen Mou punched and kneeled, and his whole body could be transformed into an offensive weapon. He was like the reincarnation of the god of martial arts. Every move was simple and direct, but it had endless destructive power. With a kick, Fast, who dared to approach and attack, was kicked away. Then, the swordlight turned, covering Terence, who took the opportunity to attack, and forced him to retreat. After Terence avoided the sharp edge, he attacked again, and the law on the trident fluctuated, bringing endless pressure. From his mouth, a few spells came out. "God of dead evil sleeping in the underworld, I pray to you, pray for your attention, and pray for your power to devour the sinners in front of me." A huge skull phantom emerged from behind Chen Mou, and extremely terrifying evil fluctuations emanated from it. This move was used by Terence when dealing with Zhu Lao, but its horror was 10 times greater than before. Terence and Fast intensified their attack, restricting Chen Mou's body, and the skull phantom opened its mouth and swallowed Chen Mou in. Aha! A smile appeared on Terence's face. He is dead now. He is swallowed by the evil god of death and is destined to become the other party's sacrifice. There is no way he can escape. "Boss, you are really amazing." Fast laughed and relaxed. Chen Mou's performance just now brought him great pressure. On the pirate ship, there was a burst of cheers, while on the Bohemia, there was a gloomy fog and everyone's face was filled with despair. Chen Mou was shrouded in the skull and felt only waves of devouring power coming, pulling his spirit and blood. Chen Mou tilted his head slightly. A garbage-like existence dares to call itself a god. "Those who see me are blind, and those who hear me are deaf. Those who dare to plot against me will suffer the consequences." Words with strange rhythm came out of Chen Mou's mouth, vibrating with a void, and a strange force directly bit back. Crack, 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 the phantom of the skull appeared, and then exploded in the astonished eyes of Terence and Fast. "This is impossible." Terence's eyes were dull, unable to accept it. A brilliant sword light slashed over, bringing Terence back to his senses instantly. The trident shone brightly, and the two collided fiercely. Terence felt that the evil god was a bit unreliable, so this thing was more useful. After being hit hard by Chen Mou, Fast no longer dared to get close, so he stayed aside, summoning thunder dragons, wind dragons, fire dragons, water dragons, and ice dragons to harass him from time to time. Smashing an ice dragon into pieces with one hand, Chen Mou showed an impatient look on his face. "That's enough, I'll be annoyed if you keep hitting me." For some reason, after Chen Mou said this, Fast suddenly felt an inexplicable sense of panic, and subconsciously wanted to escape. In Chen Mou's sea of consciousness, the real ancient god lighthouse emitted a faint light. This light radiated to the outside world and swept over Fast in an instant. With a click, Fast's body was shattered like porcelain, and the low-level armor also shattered, failing to save Last's life. Terence saw this and flew away without looking back. "Run, run quickly, this kid is simply not human." All these methods have exceeded Terence's imagination. If someone had told him in the past that a miracle master of the first stage could fight with two miracle masters of the second stage and not lose, he would definitely give that person a big slap in the face. But reality is often more bizarre than imagination. This miracle master of the first stage even killed him back. "Can you run away?" Chen Mou spread out his wings condensed by black air, and his speed was almost as fast as chasing light and lightning. In an instant, he closed the distance. He raised his hand and waved it, and the dazzling swordlight was about to split the world. While Terence was running for his life, he raised the trident to resist this domineering attack. Terence lost his courage, and without Fast to cooperate, he could not resist for long. A long sword energy slid down from the sky, splitting his head and body in two. By the way, it split the ocean below in two, forming a rift valley, and then the seawater slowly rolled back again, restoring it to its original state. These two people are quite difficult to deal with, and they forced me to use my trump card. Chen Mou originally wanted to hide the ancient god lighthouse and would not use it unless necessary, but in today's battle, if he did not use it, he really could not take them down. However, it didn't matter. Because this is still not the full power of the ancient god lighthouse. Miracle Force moved, pulling Terrence's head and trident back to the place where the two cruise ships were, and throwing them onto the pirate ship. Countless people looked at this scene with shocked eyes, feeling their throats dry. The three giants of the Terrans, who had been roaming the Black Sea for many years and making countless forces tremble, were finally defeated today. They were known as one of the 7 marshals of the Black Sea. The price of failure is life. And the opponent is just a Xingho student. Is this Xingho Academy? Is this a Huaki person? On the pirate ship, a vicious sailor fell on the deck with a deep fear in his eyes. He is older, and the scene in front of him reminds him of the scene when the Huaki fleet came and the whole Black Sea was silent. Chapter 256, A Lot of Gains. On the Bohinia, Xiao Yanqiu and Li Jingshuo were shocked. Back then, this man sailed out to sea alone, and they were very disdainful of it, thinking that he was ignorant. Now it seems that the one who is shallow and ignorant is himself. Zulao stretched out his hand and wiped the sweat from his forehead. He was somewhat glad that he did not attack Chen Mou. Otherwise, I really don't know who will teach whom a lesson. Xiao Yiren looked at Chen Mou's figure, floating in the sky, with a yearning look on his face. Is this Xingho's senior brother? So powerful. I should have applied for Xingho earlier, but unfortunately the application has been filled in and cannot be changed. I can only go to Mingdao University. Chen Mou's figure slowly descended and landed on the pirate ship. Sir, we are willing to surrender. Yes, I surrender. Sir, we are willing to give up all our treasures. If you want to be the captain, we are also willing to serve you as our master. Many pirates looked flattering. There is no way, life and death are in the hands of others. Yet, Chen Mou nodded gently. The pirates were about to show their joy, but Chen Mou changed the subject. Over the years, I guess you have done a lot of bad things. The joy of the pirates froze on their faces. Being a pirate, if you don't do bad things, do you have to respect the elderly and love the young? If a smaller pirate group may have fewer sins than the pirate group, one of the 7 marshals of the Black Sea, murder and arson are commonplace. We didn't do many bad things. They were all done by Terrence, Dalton, and Fast. One of them said with a slightly stiff face. Chen Mou suddenly snapped his fingers, and a blood hole appeared on the frontal bone of the pirate, and the whole person slowly fell on the deck. Bullets, it's air. Do you think I believe it? Chen Mou laughed. The pirates' eyes were dull, their bodies were cold, and they felt a bone-chilling cold. This man suddenly shot and killed one person while laughing. Then, the next one. Chen Mou raised his hand and snapped his fingers again. On the right, a pirate also fell down with a bloody hole on his forehead. Next one. Next one. Feel the pressure? Feel the despair? This feeling is also what you once brought to the cruise ship carrying ordinary people. Chen Mou's words were like the voice of the god of death. Every time he said a word, one person would die. I can't stand it anymore. A pirate roared and drew his knife to attack Chen Mou, but Chen Mou flicked his finger and pierced through him and his knife. This did not shock the crowd. The pirates on the ship rioted and rushed towards Chen Mou. Among them, there were 2 masters of the first stage of Miracle Masters. Unfortunately, Chen Mou drew his sword and in just a moment, the world was silent. Although he only drew one sword, the awe-inspiring sword energy split into thousands of paths and accurately hit everyone. Like the scythe of the god of death, the blood of the pirates splashed on the deck. The 2 masters of the first stage of Miracle Masters could still resist a little, but under Chen Mou's offensive, they could not escape the fate of defeat. Chen Mou sheathed his sword and looked at the pirates lying in all directions on the pirate ship. He was calm and had no major ups and downs. He was not a bloodthirsty person, but some people had to be killed. Punishing evil is to promote good. Such a large pirate group should have some treasures. Without being immersed in the pride of doing justice for a long time, Chen Mou soon thought of the treasures of the pirate group. Who would complain about having too much money? Chen Mou searched the cabin and soon found the place where the treasures were stored. Good stuff. Opening a cabin door, the jewels and treasures came to the face. Pearls, gold, jade, all kinds of treasures are available. In addition, there is a lot of cash in foreign currencies. Chen Mou converted the exchange rate and calculated it slightly, about 10 million. Compared with the size of the Terrance pirate group, this amount of money is not much. But this is cash after all, not a balance in the bank card, so it is already a lot. In addition, Chen Mou also found some spiritual medicines. A soul-burning grass, a bright god flower, and a Haiyan blood ginseng pill. Needless to say, the Mingshan flower is a thing that can improve mental strength. The Haiyan blood ginseng pill is made from 100-year-old blood ginseng. It has a great effect on physical strength and blood. The price of one pill is estimated to be more than 10 million. This Terrance has so many spiritual medicines that can improve mental strength and physical strength. Could it be that he wants to break through to the level of a law scholar? This time, I can get all the benefits. Chen Mou was overjoyed. It is extremely difficult to break through to the level of a law scholar. With these 3 spiritual medicines alone, it is impossible to force a breakthrough. It can only be used as an auxiliary. It is estimated that Terrance has not reached that level yet, so he can only keep these 3 spiritual medicines for future use. What's in this bottle? Chen Mou opened a safe and found a white jade bottle locked inside. As soon as he opened it to observe, a strange smell came to his face, making Chen Mou feel confused. This is highly poisonous. Terrance, this old pervert, treasures this kind of thing. Chen Mou quickly moved away, and then found something wrong, and took a look at the mouth of the bottle. Galaxy tears. If Chen Mou was just overjoyed just now, then now he was overjoyed, ecstatic, and overjoyed. What is galaxy tears? It is a treasure that even saints cherish. It is a higher level than the fruit of enlightenment. That day, Lu Jingshan betrayed Xinghu for a fruit of enlightenment, and was directly killed by Dean Kong. What Chen Mou got now is a more precious thing than the fruit of enlightenment. Why does this galaxy tears look a bit wrong? Chen Mou observed it carefully again, and a wave of discomfort came, making people dizzy. It turns out that it is contaminated. I said, how can a small person like Terrance have such a good thing? Lu Jingshan's cultivation is much higher than Terrance, and he still wants to fight for a fruit of enlightenment. If Terrance was lucky enough to get the galaxy tears, how could he have let Chen Mou get away with it? It turned out that the galaxy tears had long been contaminated and mixed with various highly toxic substances. Judging from the discomfort Chen Mou felt after just smelling it, if he drank it, even a law scholar would feel uncomfortable. Not only would he not gain any benefits, but he would lose half his life. This matter is difficult for you, Terrance, but it is not difficult for me, Chen Mou. Chen Mou gently stretched out his hand and pointed into the bottle. The will of the storm and the fluctuation of particles were all controlled by Chen Mou. The inside of the galaxy tears began to fluctuate. In units of particles, the beneficial part and the highly toxic part slowly separated. This white jade bottle seemed to be specially made, specially used to preserve spiritual objects, and it could also resist the erosion of highly toxic substances. Chen Mou found another similar white jade bottle from the site and guided the highly toxic part in. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 257, Miracle Master Midterm. The separation process of impurities in the galaxy tears was very difficult. Although Chen Mou could control particles, his realm was still very low. Although there was only a small bottle of liquid here, the particles in it were counted in billions. It was not easy for Chen Mou to separate the two. Finally, half an hour later, Chen Mou succeeded. The galaxy tears in the white jade bottle were directly reduced by half. The other half was toxic substances. Chen Mou himself was sweating profusely and exhausted. He was not so tired even after the battle just now. It seems there is still a problem. Chen Mou found that when he looked at the inside of the galaxy tears, he still felt a faint sense of something wrong. Closing his eyes and feeling it carefully, Chen Mou heard a low mumbling from it. Madness, chaos, evil, terror, all kinds of emotions intertwined in this mumbling, almost driving people crazy. This galaxy tears is really amazing, and there is also the will of the evil god in it. Could it be obtained from some evil god's mysterious realm? Compared to that garbage skull, this is the power of the true god. Although it is very light and weak, its grade is very high. If you drink it carelessly, You may unknowingly become a believer of this evil god, or your spirit may completely collapse and eventually die. I will fight against gods with gods, and let Mr. Grey Wolf destroy you. Chen Mou activated the ancient god lighthouse, and a faint light flashed, shining into the interior of the Star River Tears. In a flash, the thin will left by the evil god was completely wiped out. The inside of the Star River Tears was also stained with a trace of divinity, which was brought by the ancient god lighthouse. With divinity, I am afraid that the grade of this bottle of Star River Tears is even higher than ordinary ones. How to deal with these highly toxic parts? Chen Mou activated the lighthouse to kill the evil god's will in the highly toxic liquid. But even if there is no will, the substances in it are also extremely toxic. If it is thrown away casually or poured into the sea, it is estimated that it will pollute a large area. Try my method of particle destruction and reorganization. Chen Mou tried to manipulate the highly toxic part, and a crackling sound was heard, and the structure of the highly toxic substances inside was disrupted and reorganized. Sometimes, the toxicity of many substances is caused by their structure. If the structure is destroyed, the toxicity will disappear. Destruction is not difficult, much simpler than separation. Chen Mou completed this step quickly, and the toxicity was indeed reduced, but it still existed. It seems that this bottle of toxic liquid is highly toxic at the particle level. It seems to be some particle material that does not exist on Zijixing. I remember seeing it when I was traveling in the starry sky. Chen Mou does not have the means to destroy particles now. At this point, there is nothing he can do. It is. Keep it first and hand it over to the country. Maybe it has some research value. Chen Mou put the stopper on the white jade bottle. Star River Tears, drink some and try it. Chen Mou picked up another white jade bottle impatiently. It contained half a bottle of Star River Tears, which was crystal clear and had a little starlight. It looked like a small starry sky. Chen Mou looked up and drank about 1/10 of it. As soon as he swallowed it, there was a bang, and a coolness flowed through his body. His mind became clearer and his thinking speed accelerated. At the same time, Chen Mou felt that his perception of the world became easier, and his connection with the world was greatly strengthened. The way the galaxy tears work is similar to the enlightenment fruit, both of which increase the activity of a person's thinking. Although it does not greatly increase the strength of mental power, it fundamentally improves a person's understanding. Now, it's almost time to break through. This Terrence is really considerate. He knows that I want to break through and has prepared so many things for me. Chen Mou picked up the soul-burning grass, the bright god flower, and the blue flame blood ginseng pill and stuffed them into his mouth to chew. He broke through to the realm of Miracle Master in April. Now it's already August. Breaking through another realm is natural. Of course, this is just Chen Mou's idea. If ordinary people knew about it, I'm afraid they would be shocked. Breaking through a realm in April, is this like breaking through a realm like leveling up by killing monsters in a game? Can you break through after accumulating enough experience? For ordinary people, if you can break through again within a year after being promoted to Miracle Master, you are considered a genius. If you don't understand some realms, it's not surprising to spend 10 or 20 years. Because the Miracle Master has reached the realm of communicating with heaven and earth, it is difficult to force it up by relying on spiritual medicine. If you want to advance, you must have enough understanding of heaven and earth. At the entrance of the spiritual medicine, the essence of life rolled in and spread to the limbs and bones. Chen Mou's figure slowly floated in the air. Clouds began to revolve around Chen Mou. A cyclone with a diameter of about 10 kilometers, with Chen Mou as the center, slowly rotated. The wind circle covered the entire area nearby, sweeping away the unique fog of the Black Sea. Lightning flashed, like a dragon and snake cruising. What is this? Zulao's eyes were shocked. Is it going to break through? The faces of the others were also full of astonishment. Is this senior brother going to break through to the Lost Scholar? Xiao Yiren said blankly. In her opinion, Chen Mou had already been able to suppress Terrence before he broke through, and he was going to break through. Would that mean he was a Lost Scholar? The others were shocked when they heard this. Such a young Lost Scholar might be able to suppress their clan alone. Is this possible? Zulao shook his head. He is not a Lost Scholar. His current realm should still be the initial stage of the Miracle Master. After the breakthrough, he will be the middle stage of the Miracle Master. But, he can use the realm of the initial stage of the Miracle Master to suppress the high stage of the Miracle Master. This method is unimaginable. The depressing wind field lasted for half an hour. The sea surged, raising a huge wave. The thunder of disaster filled the air, shaking the sky. Chen Mou let out a long roar that pierced gold and split rocks, announcing that he had broken through to the realm of the middle stage of the Miracle Master. This breakthrough was simple and smooth, with only some thunder of disaster filling the air, but there was no scene of the strange phenomenon in the sky when he broke through to the Miracle Master. The wind circle dissipated, the sea level subsided, and Chen Mou landed. His spirit was restrained, and he returned to an ordinary appearance. But no one dared to despise Chen Mou at this time. After all, the scene of him defeating Terrence was still vivid in their minds. "Why haven't you left yet?" Chen Mou saw that the Bohemio was still staying here, and he was a little confused. "Well," Xiao Yanqiu stepped forward and said, "we want to wait for you and leave together. After all, the Black Sea is not safe." Oh. Chen Mou understood that Zhu Lao, the strongest fighter on the Bohemia, was already injured. With his current strength, it would not be difficult to deal with some pirates in the middle stage of the Miracle Master, but if he met a high-level Miracle Master, it would be a death sentence. "It seems that you want to use me as a bodyguard." After Chen Mou finished speaking, the scene was a little awkward for a while. Chapter 258, The Tribulation of a Lifetime. How could this person speak so directly? Xiao Yanqiu was a little embarrassed, but after all, he was a young man from a noble family who had seen the world, so he admitted without blushing, "We have this idea, and hope that you can lend a hand, but we won't let you help for nothing. We can give you corresponding rewards." "Reward?" Chen Mou pondered for a moment. "That's easy to say. How about this? You do me a favor. If you need me, I will do my best." Xiao Yanqiu vowed. As long as he can survive, it doesn't matter if he pays a little price. "There are quite a few rare things on Terrence's pirate ship. These all belong to me. You don't mind, do you?" Chen Mou said. "Of course I don't mind." Xiao Yanqiu did not hesitate. If it weren't for Chen Mou, they would have been wiped out. How could they dare to share the spoils? "Well, I don't need the pearls, gold and foreign currencies on the ship, so I'll sell them all to you." Chen Mou added, "By the way, I'll sell you this pirate ship too. Just transfer the money to my bank card. That's all you want." Xiao Yanqiu didn't expect it to be so simple. Pearls, gold and pirate ships are all valuable things, so they won't lose money if they buy them. It's just that it will be a bit troublesome to resell them at that time, but for these children of noble families with all-powerful means, it's nothing. "Well, that's it," Chen Mou said. Xiao Yanqiu discussed it with other children of noble families, and they all had no objection. Money or life, is there any need to say it? There happened to be professionals on the Bohemia cruise ship who could estimate the price of this batch of pearls and other items. In addition, these children of noble families were all experts, so they quickly calculated the total price. Pearls, gold, jade and other treasures are worth about 20 million. In addition to these treasures, there are also 5 blue diamond necklaces, shining with a dreamy light. Chen Mou liked them very much and put them away. "Can I take it back for Xiao Bai to play with? When traveling, shouldn't I bring some local specialties? In addition, there are foreign currencies and cash, about 10 million. The trident is a low-level treasure, and its own material is also extraordinary, worth 10 million. Chen Mou also dived into the deep sea and fished up Dalton's boxing gloves, which are worth 8 million. As for Fast's armor, it had already been smashed to pieces by Chen Mou. The most valuable thing is actually the pirate ship. Although it is much smaller than the Bohemia and looks a bit shabby, it is also worth about 80 million. With this calculation, the total value of all things is 128 million. To show their sincerity, this group of children from aristocratic families took the initiative to raise the price to 130 million. They are still young and have not inherited the family property. If they ask a single person to come up with such a sum of money, it may be a little difficult, but if everyone contributes, it is easy. Chen Mou was a little uneasy when he heard this number. This group of pirates is so rich. Their entire assets are as much as my 13-month salary. No wonder there is a saying that goes, "Killing people and setting fires brings you a golden belt, but repairing bridges and repairing roads brings you no corpses." It's a pity that justice is clear and retribution is inevitable. In the end, this group of people still fell into Chen Mou's hands. If Terrence knew what Chen Mou was thinking now, I'm afraid that even if he was not beaten to death by Chen Mou, he would cry to death at sea. "I have been plundering for many years to have this little wealth, and it is not my personal property. I have to share it with my brothers. Your annual salary is actually comparable to mine. However, Terrence's most valuable thing is the bottle of galaxy tears, which Chen Mou naturally will not sell. There is no signal here in the Black Sea, and you have to leave this place to transfer money. Chen Mou first found his small sailboat not far away. This thing can't be lost. During the battle just now, the noise was too loud, so it didn't break it, but it was blown away. On the pirate ship, all the pirates were wiped out, and there was no one who could drive the ship. But it's not a big problem. There are many crew members on the Bohemia, and some of them were divided over to control the pirate ship forward. The group set off in a mighty manner. Pirates hid wherever they went. Although there was no signal in the Black Sea, the pirates lived here all year round and had some of their own news channels. The battle just now lasted for a long time and was earth-shattering. The nearby pirates observed the battle scene from afar. One of the 7 marshals of the Black Sea was killed, and now there are only 6 marshals left. The other side killed the entire Terrence pirate group, and the cruelty was beyond imagination. They dared not come to defend. Even some pirate groups that were too far away from here and did not receive the news found something wrong and fled quickly. Because they observed through instruments from a distance that the Terrence pirate ship and another large ship were moving one after the other. On the pirate ship, the operator was replaced by a stranger. This already explains everything. Everyone didn't know the road, so they could only wander around in the Black Sea, and they didn't find the right way for a long time. The pirates wanted to curse, "Why haven't they turned out yet? Do you want me to lead the way?" Finally, after a lot of tossing, the 2 large ships left, followed by an inconspicuous small sailboat. Thank God. Oh, thank God. The pirates celebrated. They finally left. They were so nervous during this period. After leaving the Black Sea area, the signal gradually recovered. The children of the noble families each collected some money and transferred it to Chen Mou. Soon, the text message notification sound came. Chen Mou started working in May and received a monthly salary of 10 million. However, in May and June, Chen Mou asked Lin Sixchen to buy a Mingxian flower. After calculation, the monthly surplus was 1.5 million. Then he only worked for half a month in July and earned 5 million. After deducting some miscellaneous expenses, the balance was about 14.95 million. Now 130 million has been received, and the balance immediately soared to 144.95 million. I should be able to get a commemorative bag for deposits exceeding 100 million. Should I go to the bank to ask for it someday? Chen Mou thought happily. Everyone, we will meet again. Chen Mou waved his hand and sat on the small sailboat to leave. Xiao Yiren was on the boat, and waved his hand vigorously. Take care, senior brother. Then he asked hesitantly, Senior brother, I have a question to ask. Are there many masters like you in Xinghu? Chen Mou pondered for a moment. After the school starts, he will be promoted to the sophomore year, and it should not be a problem to sweep the freshman to the junior year. I wonder if there are any seniors who can compete with him? Xinghu is full of masters. Chen Mou decided to be more humble and not be too arrogant. Oh, I should have applied to Xinghu earlier. Xiao Yiren's face was a little melancholy. Are you enrolled this year? Which school did you apply to? Chen Mou asked with interest. I applied to Mingdao University. Xiao Yiren regretted. Mingdao University has more masters than Xinghu, and there is another person there, and I am no match for him. Chen Mou's face showed a trace of softness. Brother, you are not her match. Xiao Yiren couldn't believe that there was such a genius in Mingdao University. At the same time, he keenly caught the gentleness on Chen Mou's face and asked, Is she a girl? Yes. Chen Mou smiled slightly. I think, brother, you must like her. Xiao Yiren said affirmatively. Well, it's hard to say, maybe a little bit. Chen Mou neither admitted nor denied. Who is this sister? I really want to start school right away and meet her. Xiao Yiren couldn't help his curiosity. Chen Mou's eyes were fixed on the sea, and his thoughts suddenly became a little erratic. She is the eternal calamity in my life. Chapter 259 Return to Huoki. Brother, you haven't told me the name of that senior sister yet. Xiao Yiren pouted, a little depressed. This senior brother, he didn't answer the question directly. How could he speak in a vague way? When you enter Mingdao University, you will naturally hear her reputation, and you will know it without me telling you. Chen Mou waved his hand, and a breeze blew, pushing the sailboat slowly forward. This time it was really goodbye. Xiao Yiren looked at Chen Mou's departing back, thoughtful. Chen Mou lay on the sailboat, quietly feeling the breeze. Thinking of Chiu Xiaoxi, Chen Mou's excitement about getting treasures and advancing in realm was diluted a little. Suzaku, Suzaku, why do you want to be Suzaku? The excitement decreased, replaced by a few wisps of melancholy. Chu Xiaoxi is the reincarnation of Suzaku, the two are inseparable and complementary. Logically speaking, Chen Mou has no need to care about the process of Suzaku's revival, and he is not qualified to care about it. Compared with Suzaku, he is an outsider. But Chen Mou insisted on caring about it. Chen Mou's only friend has always been Chu Xiaoxi. What does Suzaku have to do with me? During the process of Suzaku's revival, Chu Xiaoxi's will was gradually merged and annihilated, which Chen Mou absolutely could not accept. Chen Mou had no control over what Suzaku wanted to do, but he had to keep Chu Xiaoxi. Otherwise, even if you are a giant in the universe and a god, I will fight you to the end. Unfortunately, the future self failed. This is one of the only two major setbacks in Chen Mou's life. Chen Mou has fought all his life and has few opponents, but he did not get through this disaster. The other time was the last battle, and he was defeated by the gods. Now, Chen Mou, who has regained his memory, is not very afraid of the last battle of gods. Now it is still far from that battle, and there is still enough time to prepare. Chen Mou is confident that he can turn the situation around. But Chen Mou still has no idea about the secret competition with Suzaku. If the first attack fails and Suzaku notices his intention, I am afraid there will be no second chance. The price of failure is unbearable for Chen Mou. At this stage, Chen Mou is not ready. However, it is not a good idea to keep dragging it out. Forget it, it is useless to think too much, just grasp the present moment. Chen Mou's thoughts returned to reality, and he felt a power of particle fluctuations around him. August 26th. After drifting for many days, Chen Mou's sailboat finally approached the coastline. Before he could dock, several young men with hooked noses and uniforms drove over in a speedboat and surrounded him. Chen Mou was interrogated as a stowaway. However, after Chen Mou showed off his power as a miracle worker and stated that he was from Huiki, the attitude of the other party changed greatly. The country where the visitor came from was called Xingaiyu Federation. Although there were undercurrents between the countries on Ziji Star, once there was a disagreement in interests, they would immediately attack each other, but on the surface, the relationship was maintained well, and they looked harmonious. Chen Mou asked Xingaiyu Federation to arrange a flight for him to return to Huiki country. With the coordination of the embassy, this request was quickly met. The plane took off and took more than half a day to finally arrive at the Huiki country airport. Chen Mou took another car and returned to Yanghui City. He entered Jingxiu Mingyun community and knocked on the door. You are here. Who is it? Tan Xiaoyin's voice came. It's me. Chen Mou said happily. Finally, you are willing to come back. You have been gone for so many days. If I hadn't called you several times, I would have thought you were missing. Tan Xiaoyin kept nagging. Dad is back. Hug me. Xiaobei heard the noise, slipped out of the room, threw himself on Chen Mou, and hung his white and tender hands around Chen Mou's neck. Chen Mou hugged Xiaobei and turned around a few circles, making the little guy happy. At this time, Chen Jianai also came out of the room, just come back safely. By the way, I also brought some good things here. Chen Mou took out a blue diamond necklace and handed one to Xiaobei. Although Xiaobei was still young and didn't have much obsession with this kind of jewelry, he immediately grabbed it when he saw it shining. Thank you, Dad. Chen Mou gave another one to Tan Xiaoyin. Tan Xiaoyin frowned. This thing should be quite expensive. I always feel a little uneasy with such an expensive thing on my neck. I'll give it back to you, or you can sell it and get some money for cultivation. Chen Mou said, this thing should not be worth much. It is estimated to be only 1 million. You have been promoted to a mysterious person. It is not too much to wear such a necklace. If an ordinary person goes out with such an expensive necklace, there may be risks. But who dares to rob a mysterious person? If you are really powerful, I am afraid you will not do such a thing that will destroy your future. Tan Xiaoyin thought about it and finally accepted it, but when she heard Chen Mou say that 1 million is not worth money, she was still secretly helpless. 5 necklaces, 2 were given away, and there were 3 left, but there was no share for Chen Jianai. What kind of necklace should a grown man wear? And this? Chen Mou took out the white jade bottle containing the Star River tears. Along the way, he drank 7/10 of the half-filled bottle of Star River tears. There were 3/10 left, just right for the 3 people in the family. In fact, Since practicing the secret of immortality, the progress of both parents has been quite fast, and the progress of practice is even faster than that of Chen Mou in high school. However, Chen Mou feels that he can practice even faster. This Star River tears can greatly improve their understanding and perception of the world. It becomes much more convenient to track spiritual energy, which greatly increases the efficiency of practice. What is this? The parents looked at Chen Mou in confusion as he poured out the liquid in 3 portions. It looked crystal clear and glowed with stars. A little spiritual liquid that can improve understanding, bought on the road. Chen Mou did not tell the truth. 1/10 per person, this amount is too little, but its value is still comparable to the fruit of enlightenment. Under Chen Mou's persuasion, the parents drank 1 portion each. Soon, the faces of the two changed. It was obvious that they felt the extraordinary effect, their minds were much clearer, and the perception of the inside of the body was better. They knew how to practice to make a better breakthrough. Good stuff, Chen Jianai exclaimed, it must be very expensive. Although Chen Mou kept saying that it was not that expensive, the two still felt it was a bit wasteful. They should have let Chen Mou drink it earlier. Many parents are like this. They are reluctant to spend money on weekdays, but when they want to buy something for their children, they don't think it is expensive. Xiaobei, you drink it too. Chen Mou looked at Xiaobei holding the necklace and playing with it, and couldn't help but remind him. Dad, you drink it, this thing is expensive. Xiaobei imitated him. Drink it, this is for you. Chen Mou picked up the cup and put it to Xiaobei's mouth. Xiaobei gulped it down. How does it feel? Chen Mou asked. A little sweet. Anything else? No more. Chapter 260, a thought arises, the situation changes. Chen Mou. Although you don't practice, you should feel clear-headed, quick thinking, and energetic after taking this sip. What the hell is no reaction? Do you feel clear-headed and more energetic? Chen Mou asked. Xiaobei shook her head, no. Chen Mou really wanted to scold her, spendthrift girl, give me back my Star River tears. But the reality is that he can only accept this fact helplessly. Star River tears don't seem to work on Xiaobei. After spending some time with his parents at home and having a meal at his grandfather's and grandfather's houses, Chen Mou set out on his journey again on August 31st and returned to Xinghua. Before leaving, Chen Mou transferred 5 million to his parents to buy nutrient solution for their daily needs. In fact, the family now has a house and a car, and Chen Mou Zuan's subsidy card has also been given to his parents for safekeeping. In addition, after the two of them became Zuans, they have their own subsidies, so they are not short of money. However, with that little money, they may have to save money to buy nutrient solution. It's not time for Xinghua to go back to school yet, and the campus is relatively deserted. As for the registration of new students, that will be on September 10th, so it's still early. Chen Mou also did not plan to continue working at Haiyan Armor Company, and made a special trip to submit his resignation. It was not because he was rich now that he was arrogant, but he just wanted to spend more time practicing. As for what to do if the more than 100 million yuan in savings is used up, let's wait until it is used up. Drink today and worry tomorrow. Zhang Yuan was very sorry for Chen Mou's departure and tried to keep him. Seeing that Chen Mou was determined to leave, Zhang Yuan had to promise that he could come back whenever he wanted, and his salary and working hours would remain unchanged. Zhang Yuan could still guarantee this. With his status, he could have a say in the board of directors. Although Chen Mou usually worked short hours and had a high salary, Zhang Yuan felt that it was worth it. The value of everyone's time is different. Sometimes Chen Mou's advice can help the project team avoid many devours. While Chen Mou was practicing in Xinghua, a visitor came to Zhang Xingtang's home in Yonghui City. Brother Xingtang, your hair seems to have recovered a lot recently, and it is not as sparse as before. A slim woman looked at Zhang Xingtang and was amazed. Zhang Xingtang subconsciously touched the top of his head. Not bad, Yihan, did you come to me just to care about my hair? This woman was Qin Yihan, the Hall of Fame saint whom Chen Mou had met before, but now her face was not shrouded in mist, showing a jade-like face. Once upon a time, Zhang Xingtang, Li Xingming, and Qin Yihan were contemporaries. The person with the highest talent and the most hope to break through to the realm of saint was Zhang Xingtang. Unfortunately, an accident on the battlefield caused Zhang Xingtang to fail and never recover. Qin Yihan, on the other hand, successfully promoted to the realm of saint after some tempering. Besides visiting you, It's more important to visit Xiaotong. Qin Yihan came to Zhang Xiaotong and pinched her little face. Unconsciously, you have grown up. I have watched you grow up slowly over the past 10 years. Auntie Qin. Zhang Xiaotong looked well behaved. Xiaotong should be admitted to Xinghua. When will she report? Qin Yihan said. Soon. Zhang Xiaotong hummed, when the time comes, with my talent, I will definitely beat all the opponents in Xinghua. Yeah, good, you have ambition. Qin Yihan nodded repeatedly. Although the realm is a little behind now, the foundation is relatively solid. With the training of me and your father, you will catch up step by step. It will not be a problem to sweep the freshmen by then. A bunch of freshmen in the freshman year are nothing. I heard that many freshmen challenge the sophomores and juniors as soon as they enter. Zhang Xiaotong waved her hands, looking very arrogant. That's okay, but it's impossible to sweep all the opponents. Qin Yihan said hesitantly. Zhang Xingtang also poured cold water on her. I think you haven't fought enough recently, and you don't know how much you weigh. He was a little helpless about his daughter. She was the kind of person who would do anything for her own sake. Before Chiu Xiaoxi graduated, she was already the school beauty, full of confidence. Zhang Xiaotong snorted, you guys, you are trying to boost others' ambitions but destroy your own prestige. With my talent, can't I challenge my seniors? It doesn't matter if you challenge others, but there is one person. The old principal once said that as long as he's in Xinghua, other students may have a hard time making a breakthrough. Qin Yihan shook his head slowly. Huh? Who is he? Zhang Xiaotong asked hurriedly, treating him as an imaginary enemy. This person's name is Chen Mou. Senior brother Chen Mou. Zhang Xiaotong was immediately depressed when she heard it. It seemed that he was indeed not very good at beating. Qin Yihan stayed here, chatted for half an hour, and then said goodbye and left. Zhang Xiaotong ran to the door and took a look to confirm that Qin Yihan had left. Then he said seriously, Dad, I think Aunt Qin has some feelings for you. What feelings? Zhang Xingtang had a question mark on his face. That kind, you know. Zhang Xiaotong chuckled. What a mess, go away, it's not time to report yet, you should practice quickly. Zhang Xingtang scolded. What? You are angry because I told you the truth. I think Aunt Qin is a good person. Zhang Xiaotong muttered. I think you deserve a beating. Zhang Xingtang pretended to hide him. Zhang Xiaotong quickly ran away. Mom has passed away for so many years. Dad, I don't mind if you want to find a companion, but I won't recognize anyone else who wants to be my stepmother except Aunt Qin. You, kid, have been getting more and more presumptuous recently. Zhang Xingtang wanted to catch up and let Zhang Xiaotong know why the flowers are so red, but he gave up in the end. He collapsed on the sofa and sighed. The daughter is also thinking about her own happiness, but how can she forget the person living in her heart? Zhang Xingtang stretched out his hand, and a law in his palm slowly beat. I'm afraid many people don't know that more than 10 days ago, he not only repaired his injuries, but also broke through to the realm of the sage. At this moment, he is qualified to have a seat in the Hall of Fame. However, Zhang Xingtang still keeps a low profile and does not show any power. The sage is very strong, but at this moment, he is not Wang Chang's opponent. After all, the other party has been promoted for many years and has already gone a long way in this realm. I swear not to be a human if I don't avenge this, not only for my wife, but also for the innocent souls who died on the battlefield. Zhang Xingtang's eyes were dim. He stood up from the sofa and walked to the window. His eyes seemed to penetrate into the endless distance. As soon as he thought of it, the wind and clouds changed. Chapter 261 New Students Admission. There are a lot of people at the exits of several high-speed rail stations in Huazhou City. Many colleges and universities have set up pavilions here, with a sign in front, XX School Freshman Reception Office. September 10th is the day for many freshmen to enroll. Polytechnic University, Medical University, University of Science and Technology, Wenwu College, Conservatory of Music, etc. are all here. Some schools do not have freshman enrollment on this day, so they did not send people to receive them. But even so, this row of freshman reception offices is spectacular enough. A few slightly immature but energetic figures walked out of the high-speed rail station exit. Although they were a little unhappy about the fact that the summer vacation passed so quickly, they did not immerse themselves in this emotion for long, and instead were excited about entering college life. Among the students pouring out of the high-speed rail station, there are some tall and handsome men and young and beautiful girls, which attracted a lot of attention. Freshmen of Nanyang Martial Arts University can come here together, and the school will arrange a special car to pick them up. At the reception of Nanyang Martial Arts University, a senior brother shouted with a loudspeaker. He and other staff members at the reception desk are all students on campus, and they came here purely as volunteers. To facilitate the admission of new students, many schools will arrange reception at high-speed rail exits, passenger stations and other places. If the new students are willing to accept, they can wait here. When the number of people is about the same, they will be arranged to be taken to the campus. Of course, if the new students are going to take a taxi to school by themselves, that's fine, or even you can walk there. It all depends on personal choice. Many new students came out of the high-speed rail station and saw that there were actually seniors in charge of reception. They all found the corresponding school reception office, simply registered, and waited. Finally here, I've been sitting on this high-speed rail for a long time. It's really unfriendly to us people from other provinces. A girl in a white short-sleeved t-shirt walked out of the exit with a small box in her hand. She has short hair, white skin, and looks warm and cute. She attracted a lot of attention as soon as she came out. Next to her was a girl in a beige dress, who nodded in agreement and said, "It's really too far, and it's boring on the high-speed train. I should have taken a plane earlier." The two of them were both top-notch in appearance, full of youthful aura. When combined, they attracted a lot of attention. "Ah, someone is here to greet us, hurry over." The girl in the white t-shirt pulled the one next to her and ran forward in small steps. "Are you senior brothers and sisters? We are both freshmen at Tsinghua Academy." The smile of the girl in the white t-shirt was impeccable. "Okay, register." The senior brother in charge of reception was not affected, and looked very cold. The girl in the white t-shirt showed her admission notice and wrote her name in the registration book, Xiao Anrao. The girl in the beige dress was named Song Zhuoran, and she also registered. "Senior brother, what's your name?" Xiao Anrao chatted with her in a familiar manner. "Cheng Yiming." The attitude of the senior brother in charge of reception was much gentler. After all, this was her junior sister. Xiao Anrao looked at the senior brother, who looked very heroic, with a square face and clear muscle lines all over his body. Unfortunately, his face was bronze, and Xiao Anrao still preferred wider colors. "Brother Cheng, are you doing volunteer work?" Xiao Anrao asked. "Of course, I tell you, the Tsinghua Academy is very stingy, and they won't give you any benefits." Before Cheng Yiming could answer, a senior sister next to him immediately laughed. "Don't scare the junior sisters." Cheng Yiming was a little helpless. Xiao Anrao giggled, obviously not believing it. Tsinghua is one of the 4 major schools after all, so it must have the style of a famous school. "Brother, when are we leaving for school?" Song Zhuoran asked. "Soon, we'll leave when we have 20 people. Including you two, there are already 15 people here." Cheng Yiming pointed to the young faces in the seats next to him. "These are also freshmen, you can communicate more." Xiao Anrao said, "Then how do we go?" "Take the bus." Cheng Yiming pointed to the back, and Xiao Anrao and Song Zhuoran widened their eyes at the same time. 2 large low-altitude aircraft. However, the two were not people who had never seen the world, and they quickly came to their senses. This kind of flying machine is not uncommon in big cities. Soon, 3 more new students arrived, 2 boys and 1 girl. One of them was a little ordinary, neither outstanding nor ugly, the kind that you can't find in a crowd. But their eyes were bright and full of energy. There was another man, who was tall and handsome, with sword-like eyebrows and star-like eyes, and a strong aura. After the man and woman registered, they found a seat next to them and waited quietly. The handsome man wrote his name on the registration book and smiled. "Hello, everyone, my name is Yiteng, from Min Province. Please take care of me in the future." "Ah, you are also from Min Province?" Xiao Anrao said in surprise. It was quite exciting to meet an old friend in a foreign land. Yiteng's smile became even brighter. "It seems that you are also from Min Province." "It's fate." "Yiteng, this name is very familiar." Song Zhuoran frowned and thought for a while, then looked up suddenly. "Are you our Min Province's provincial champion this year?" Yiteng nodded reservedly, but couldn't help showing a bit of smugness on his face. "I didn't expect to meet the provincial champion here. You are really amazing." Xiao Anrao was a little surprised. Although she was also admitted to Tsinghua, her ranking was not outstanding. Among the people who were admitted to the top 4 in the city, she ranked in the middle. and the person in front of her was much stronger than the one with the highest ranking in her city. Chen hurriedly said a few humble words, but his face was even more proud. Chen Yiming wanted to laugh when he saw it from the side. Now you can be proud for a while, and when you enter the school, I will immediately put an end to your arrogance. This is called the law of heaven, and no one can escape from it. Looking back at the past, Chen Yiming was also the second in the province. I thought it was pretty good, but after entering the school, I was immediately taught a lesson by reality. Those senior brothers and sisters are more arrogant than each other. If there is anyone who has not suffered much during the freshman year, I am afraid it is only Chen Mou and Sudeo. Chen Kai is quite strong, but he was also beaten at the beginning. Chen Yiming has endured for a year and finally made it. Now he is also a sophomore. Looking at this group of freshmen, Chen Yiming has a psychological sense of superiority. Finally, 2 more freshmen arrived. 20 people boarded the low-altitude aircraft one after another and found a place to sit down. Chen Yiming also boarded the aircraft. Although the aircraft had a pilot and could definitely carry the freshmen to school smoothly, after arriving at Xinhua, Chen Yiming was still responsible for leading the way and guiding the freshmen to the registration point. The aircraft took off with a rumble, drew a graceful curve, and headed towards Xinhua. Chen Yiming coughed lightly. There is still some time before we reach our destination, so I will give you a brief introduction to Xinhua. Chapter 262. Scare you first. Chen Yiming took out a small notebook and a map, and introduced a general distribution of the buildings of Xinhua Academy to the freshmen. Yes, I understand. The freshmen glanced at it. We are all high IQ talents, and this map is simple. Chen Yiming smiled secretly. Xinhua is very large, with many buildings. Looking at the map, it must be that it is nothing special. I am afraid that I will be confused after entering. After introducing the map and buildings, Chen Yiming introduced other things to pay attention to on campus. Yes, I understand. The freshman said again. Okay. Chen Yiming was too lazy to say more. Even if he didn't understand it now, he would understand it after a few days in school. Senior brother, besides these, are there any other campus news worth paying attention to? Chen saw that Chen Yiming seemed to have nothing to say, and couldn't help asking. Chen Yiming said, I don't have anything to say for the time being, but you can ask whatever you want, and I will try my best to answer. Senior brother, I heard that Xinhua Academy is full of spiritual beauty. Is there any school beauty? A boy laughed and asked a question that many male compatriots were concerned about. Chen pretended not to care, but he pricked up his ears and secretly paid attention. Not only the male compatriots present were paying attention, but the female comrades also perked up their spirits. After all, girls have the consciousness of comparing with each other. Of course. Chen Yiming's words attracted everyone's attention. The cherry blossoms are very beautiful when they are in full bloom. I strongly recommend you to go and see them. Everyone looked at each other, and they all felt like vomiting blood. Brother, that's not what I meant. The boy said a little depressed. Chen Yiming was obviously teasing him. Well, since you are all curious, I will reveal it to you. Chen Yiming said, there is a school beauty list in Xinhua. Those who can make the list are all beautiful and have extraordinary temperament. There are 10 people on the list, but with the graduation of the last senior students, 2 senior sisters on the school beauty list have left school, leaving 2 positions vacant. Maybe those 2 positions will be selected from you freshmen. The school beauty list is mainly ranked by the scores of the campus forum vote. Generally speaking, freshmen are at a disadvantage in this regard, because they have just entered school and are unfamiliar to everyone, which will affect the voting scores. However, if there are really several strong competitors, it is possible to squeeze out the senior sisters. Chen laughed. I think Xiao Anrao and Song Zhuoren, 2 beauties, have a good chance of making the list. In this speech, he praised the 2 girls subtly, reflecting his good emotional intelligence. Although the 2 girls knew that Chen was deliberately flattering, they still felt a little bit. After all, who doesn't like to be praised? But they can't be too proud, so they quickly humbled themselves. Chen Yiming said, well, you 2 are really good looking, but it's still very difficult to get on the list. I guess it's no problem to rank in the top 20 or 30. In contrast, Chen Yiming's words were blunt, which immediately made the 2 girls depressed. Xiao Anrao said indignantly, are the senior sisters really that beautiful? Xiao Anrao really didn't believe it. She and Song Zhuoren went to the same high school and were always the object of everyone's pursuit. Although that high school didn't have a school beauty contest, These two people were always one of the best in appearance and hard to find a rival. These people are all the proud daughters of heaven from all over the place, so they are naturally extraordinary, Chen Yiming said, especially Fairy Chen, who is ranked first on the list. She has a temperament like a demon and a fairy, not like a mortal. Well, that feeling is hard to describe. You will know when you see it with your own eyes. Photos can only express 70% of her charm. Chen Yiming said, his eyes were a little dazed. This year's ranking will be re-ranked, and I think Fairy Chen will still be able to stay in the first place. If this is the case, she has been ranked first for 3 consecutive years, but she herself obviously doesn't care much about this, and is more focused on improving her own strength. Although Chen Yiming's words were not very polite, the comparison made everyone more curious. The boys present all had longing looks on their faces. He Teng said, "What is the name of this Fairy Chen? I really want to meet her. Her name is Lin Sichen, but you don't have to count on it." Although Fairy Chen doesn't have a clear boyfriend, she already has an ambiguous object. Chen Yiming eyed him mercilessly. "Look at me scaring these freshmen, it's so cool." Chen Yiming remained calm on his face, but he was secretly happy in his heart. The boys were a little disappointed when they heard this, but even if there was no ambiguous object, this kind of goddess-like figure might not be something they could covet. He Teng was not hit, and he was still full of confidence. In addition to the school beauty list, there are 2 more lists in Xinghua, called the Zia Xinghu list and the Xinghu list. Chen Yiming took the initiative to throw out a heavy news. "Today, you must be stunned, otherwise how can we show the majesty of the senior brothers? What are the contents of these 2 lists?" Everyone was immediately attracted. With the name of Xinghua, it must be more important than the school beauty list. Chen Yiming said, "These 2 lists are the strength rankings of students in the school. Among them, the Xinghu list, no matter what grade you are in, you can try to challenge the list as long as you have the strength, but generally speaking, this list is occupied by juniors and seniors. As for the Zia Xinghu list, only freshmen and sophomores can be on the list, and the ranking is also based on strength." Chen Yiming said this, and everyone immediately understood. No matter where you are, strength is respected, and the weight of these 2 lists is indeed very heavy. "This list is a symbol of the strong, I must challenge to be on the list," He Teng said without hesitation, showing strong self-confidence. As for the others, they were a little hesitant. They were just freshmen, and it was very difficult for them to compete with their seniors. They certainly didn't dare to hope to be on the Xinghu list. Even if it was the Zia Xinghu list, it would be difficult to get on the list. Yet, that's good. Juniors should work hard and try to challenge the slightly later seats on the Zia Xinghu list. As for the seats in the front, they will be vacated for you after our sophomores go to school. Chen Yiming's words seemed to be encouraging, but they were actually very arrogant. The underlying meaning was that you don't have to think about the seats in the front, just wait for our sophomores to go to school. On the aircraft, the other students didn't dare to say much, but He Teng was a little unconvinced, with a fighting spirit rising in his eyes, but he still endured it and didn't provoke. Xiao Anrao said, "I guess senior brother Cheng is also a big shot on the list." She didn't take this list very seriously, or rather, she didn't take it lightly, but she knew that she couldn't get on the list in the short term, so she didn't plan to compete for anything. This sentence was purely out of curiosity. As for me, if we exclude those who have been promoted to junior year, I can rank 8th. Chen Yiming said, but this is calculated based on the ranking at the end of last semester. There will definitely be some competition when school starts this semester. Whether the ranking will rise or fall depends on your ability. He Teng laughed secretly. You look so arrogant, but it turns out that you are only ranked 8th? In time, I will definitely sweep the Zia Xinghu list. Xiao Anrao thought this ranking was quite high. Senior brother is really amazing. I wonder what realm you are in now. Everyone paid attention and waited for Chen Yiming's answer. From Chen Yiming's realm in ranking, perhaps we can roughly estimate the strength of the masters on the Zia Xinghu list. Chen Yiming smiled. It's time to shock you severely. I have average talent. Although I have practiced hard for a year, I just reached the initial stage of Miracle Master during the summer vacation. He Teng. Everyone. Chapter 263, Aspirations. The mood of the crowd could not be described in words. They had seen people pretending to be cool, but they had never seen such a pretentious person. Breaking through during the summer vacation, that could still be considered as the freshman year. breaking through to the realm of Miracle Master in the freshman year, and still shouting that his talent was average. In terms of pretending to be cool, I would like to call you the best. He then looked at Chen Yiming with a complicated look in his eyes, feeling that he had suffered a serious blow before entering the school gate. Whether the other party pretended to be cool intentionally or unintentionally, his realm was real. He then was quite conceited about his talent, and not long ago he even reached the realm of the middle stage of Miracle Apprentice. But he then was not absolutely sure that he could break through the two realms of Miracle Apprentice High Stage and Miracle Master Beginner Stage in a year. After all, the breakthrough of realm becomes more and more difficult as time goes by. The aircraft landed and stopped steadily in a square in front of the main gate of Xinghua. Everyone carried their luggage and stepped down. Is this Xinghua? Many freshmen looked at the magnificent scene in front of them and were excited. Chen Yiming stood quietly aside and did not disturb them. After a while, he said, "Come to think of it, someone made a great wish here on the day of enrollment. He said he wanted to be famous in Xinghua in 2 years, but he did it in 1 year." Chen Yiming didn't like Chen Mou very much. The two were in a competitive relationship, but he had to admit that Chen Mou was powerful. Even if he had broken through to the initial stage of Miracle Master, he was probably still not his opponent. "Who is this person?" Xiaoan asked with interest. "He is Chen Mou, the current #1 on the Little Xinghua list." On that day, other witnesses thought he was ignorant of the world, but only Fairy Chen recognized him. Now that I think about it, the fairy's vision is still better than ours. Chen Yiming sighed a little. He had fought with Chen Mou a long time ago and witnessed Chen Mou's rise all the way. This is a man who is like a god and a demon. However, it is impossible to let Chen Yiming admit defeat. The stronger the opponent, the more he will be inspired. Xiaoan, Song Zhuorn and others were shocked. Chen Yiming, who ranked 8th, was so powerful. How charming would the #1 be? He then was inspired with a strong fighting spirit and was not convinced. If he could do it, then he then, can do it too. From today when I step into Xinghua, my name will spread in 5 years, and in 10 years, the world will be shocked. In 20 years, I will let all the domains have my name. He then spoke word by word, shocking everyone. Not only the freshmen, but also some old students nearby were startled and looked over. Could this be the next Chen Mou? When Chen Mou made a great ambition, many old students regarded it as a joke. But later, the other party rose step by step, not only sweeping the freshmen, but also suppressing many sophomores and juniors to feel inferior. Today, this freshman vowed to use 20 years to let all the domains have his name, and his ambition was no less than Chen Mou. What does all the domains mean? It has already included the external galaxies, not limited to Zhijiaxing. If it were in the past, someone would definitely jump out to question it, but with the example of Chen Mou in front, no one dared to make a conclusion easily for a while. Some people, who were paying attention to the news of the college entrance examination, recognized this person as the provincial champion of Min Province. If an ordinary person said this, it might be sensationalism, but a provincial champion. Fairy Chen and Fairy Bing are here too. One person looked over and saw Lin Sichen and Wei Lingmeng coming side by side. Both of them were stunning beauties on the school beauty list. One was ethereal like a fairy, and the other was cold as snow. Walking side by side, they immediately attracted countless eyes to follow. What a coincidence. Someone remembered the scene when Lin Sichen and Chen Mou met. Did Fairy Chen hear the ambitions and bold words of this freshman? One person murmured. Others had this question. Probably they could hear it. The freshman's voice was high and piercing the clouds and splitting the sky, as if he wanted the heaven and earth to witness his oath. Although Lin Sichen was some distance away from here, as a miracle master, he could capture even the smallest movement, not to mention such a loud sound. I wonder what the fairy said. Everyone looked at him expectantly. In the eyes of everyone, Lin Sichen and Wei Lingmeng walked over, with a calm face and no reaction at all. This was beyond most people's expectations. Several former freshmen, now sophomores, sneered, "Do you think everyone is Chen Mou? He is just a freshman, how can he be worthy of Fairy Chen's attention? See how I suppress him in the future." Chen Yiming also smiled without saying anything. "Want to be on par with Chen Mou? You have to get past me first." This freshman is quite arrogant. After walking for a while, Wei Lingmeng's cold face rarely showed a smile. Lin Sichen nodded. "It's a good thing to have ambition and goals. But you don't seem to care." Wei Lingmeng asked. "It has nothing to do with me." Lin Sichen replied calmly. Then how do you think he compares to Chen Mou? Why are you so concerned about this freshman? Are you attracted to him? A smile appeared on the corner of Lin Sichen's mouth, and the whole world suddenly became bright. Go to hell, how is that possible? Then you're attracted to Chen Mou. No, I'm not interested in men at all. On the contrary, I'm interested in you. Stop, stop. Lin Sichen quickly stopped his friend from talking. I don't have that interest. Wei Lingmeng shrugged, somewhat helpless, then answer my question. Lin Sichen's mouth curled up a slight smile. How can he compare with Chen Mou? Do you think this man can't do it? I said, it has nothing to do with me. What does it matter if he can do it or not? Then Chen Mou. Wei Lingmeng was puzzled. Why did Chen Mou attract your attention? 5 years of fame spread across Huiki, 10 years of shocking the world, 20 years later, fame spread far and wide in all regions. In the final analysis, it was just focusing on himself. Do you know what Chen Mou said? What did Chen Mou say? He said that he wanted to promote the prestige of the country and let the name of Huiki resound throughout the world. Wei Lingmeng was stunned. Today's Xinghu is very lively, welcoming batches of new students. Huil, let me tell you, I can be considered a local boss here. From now on, you will be under my protection. If you have any problems, you can come to me and I will help you. Zheng Xiaotong was walking on the avenue inside Xinghu Academy, feeling very proud. Yan Huil, who was standing next to her, was wearing a fiery red skirt. She glanced at her and said, how did you become a local boss? Isn't it your first time at Xinghu Academy like me? You don't know this. I have connections, right? I know an Antkin. She said she has already made arrangements for me and asked the teachers to pay special attention to me. Which teachers are they? Do you have their contact information? Yan Huil asked curiously. Who is Antkin? Yan Huil knew that Zheng Xiaotong's father, Zheng Xingteng, was very capable. Perhaps Antkin was his friend? Zheng Xiaotong was a little embarrassed. I didn't ask which teachers they were, and naturally I don't have their contact information. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelists. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 264. I Made a Fortune. Yan Huil was speechless. Why did this companion look a little unreliable? Xinghu is indeed full of geniuses. The students coming and going here are not ordinary. Yan Huil looked around and sighed in her heart. She was originally conceited, but compared with the people around her, she was not outstanding. Yan Huil ranked first in Yanghui City in the college entrance examination this time. Her family background was also extraordinary. It was the richest family in Yanghui. But among the students here, there are many children from aristocratic families. The family industry is spread all over the province and city. In comparison, the companies in Yanghui City are nothing in front of them. If we talk about strength, Yan Huil is good, but as a freshman, there is still a big gap compared to many old students with dignified momentum. Humph, these people are nothing. I will sweep them sooner or later. Zheng Xiaotong began to speak out. SHH, keep your voice down. Yan Huil hurriedly stopped the behavior of this companion. As freshmen, they can't be too arrogant. It's better to be low-key. Sure enough, Zheng Xiaotong's words attracted the attention of the people around. When these people saw that it was actually a little girl, they immediately didn't care. It was probably because she came from a small place and hadn't seen much of the world. A sophomore named Lu Hongwen taught her a lesson. Little sister, don't be too arrogant. As a freshman, you should keep a low profile. When he was a freshman, he always kept a low profile. Although the seniors would not take the initiative to provoke him, there were some competitions on campus from time to time. In these activities, Lu Hongwen would always be beaten. After being educated several times, Lu Hongwen no longer wanted to participate in any competitions. Now, a year has passed, and he has finally made it. He can be powerful. How can he let a few freshmen be arrogant in front of him? Is it your business? Zheng Xiaotong compared the strength of both sides and felt that she couldn't beat them, but she refused to admit defeat. How can you talk like that? The senior is teaching you the principles of life. If you are so high profile, you will suffer in the future. Lu Hongwen stepped forward with great momentum. Forget it. Yan Hua was happy to see that Zhang Xiaotong still wanted to fight back, so he quickly pulled her back. Although he was a little indignant, the situation was stronger than him. He could be tolerant now. When he succeeded in cultivation in the future, he would be able to get back at them. Seeing the two of them give in, Lu Hongwen nodded with satisfaction. He finally felt the majesty of his senior brother. It felt really good. A bumpkin from a small place. Lu Hongwen laughed, with an invisible sense of superiority. What did you say? Zhang Xiaotong exploded immediately. Although Yanghui City was indeed not very developed, it was not your turn to discriminate. Isn't it just because you have practiced for a longer period of time? The senior brothers and sisters from our city can easily beat 10 of you. Lu Hongwen laughed immediately. What kind of masters can come out of a small place? You have tried your best to be admitted to Zhenghua. Do you expect to be so strong? My name is Lu Hongwen. Remember, I will take over no matter how many people come to your place. What masters are there in your city? Tell me about them. I'm afraid they won't dare to challenge me after hearing my name. Lu Hongwen smiled confidently. I have a rank on the Xiaoxinghu list. There are many masters in my city. Not to mention those far away, senior brother Chen Mou, senior brother Su Dao and senior brother Chen Kai from the previous term are all studying at Zhenghua. It won't be a problem for them to beat you. Zhang Xiaotong snorted, and had already planned to file a complaint in her mind. A question mark slowly appeared above Lu Hongwen's head. Did I hear wrongly? What the hell? I offended all the top 3 masters on the Xiaoxinghu list at once. You are not bragging, are you? Lu Hongwen forced himself to remain calm. This person must have heard about the Xiaoxinghu list after entering school and used it as a banner. Zhang Xiaotong said, Why am I bragging? You seem very nervous. Are you scared? Let me tell you, senior brother Chen Mou and I are very familiar with each other. He is also my father's student. Lu Hongwen felt his legs a little weak. Do you know my name? Lu Hongwen, what's wrong? Lu Hongwen felt his legs even weaker. Why did he say such a bad name just now? At this time, Chen Mou was in the dean's office, handing a white jade bottle to Li Xingming. What is this? Li Xingming opened the bottle stopper and stared. The white jade bottle contained some poisonous liquid. If it was just poisonous, it would not be a big deal. Pesticides are also poisonous. But with Li Xingming's eyesight, he would naturally not only see the surface. Li Xingming had never seen the elemental particles that made up these liquids before. It is these elements that can cause great harm to the human body. They are not as mild as hydrogen and helium. I came here this time to prepare to hand this thing over to Zhenghua. Chen Mou said concisely. Li Xingming didn't expect Chen Mou to have such awareness, and he nodded with satisfaction. Well, not bad. However, Chen Mou's next sentence made Li Xingming stunned on the spot. Is there any reward? Handing in a bottle of toxic liquid, and still want a reward? How shameless. He must have learned it from Zhang Xingten. Li Xingming thought about it and understood. There shouldn't be. Li Xingming thought about it and had never heard of relevant regulations in the school. Okay. Chen Mou was a little disappointed and turned away. It was really disappointing for students to hand in things and not get any rewards. Hey, wait, how about this? I will give you a personal reward of 10 million. Li Xingming stopped Chen Mou. Chen Mou just asked casually, just joking. He was about to leave, but he didn't expect there would be such a good thing, so he hurried back. Dean Li, you are not making fun of me, are you? Chen Mou was a little unconvinced. Some broken element particles. Chen Mou had seen a lot in his future memories, and didn't think there was anything special. Who do you think I am? Li Xingming glared. My word is my bond. Do you think I'm Zhang Xingten? He did what he said. He asked for the account and immediately transferred 10 million to Chen Mou. After getting 10 million in a daze, Chen Mou walked out with some doubts about his life. I made a fortune. This time, he just didn't want to throw away these toxic liquids casually to avoid pollution. How did he get 10 million? After Chen Mou left, Li Xingming picked up the bottle with a smile on his face. I didn't expect to be so lucky. I picked up a big bargain. Li Xingming has been stuck in the high stage of the law scholar for quite some time. It seems that he is only one step away from the saint, but this step is a natural chasm. These elemental particles are not found in the purple pole star or even the surrounding galaxies. Comprehending these particles may inspire Li Xingming and help him break through. If you want to be promoted from a law scholar to a saint, it is useless to rely on natural materials and treasures. This realm requires more spiritual perception. I gave 10 million, and these elemental particles are mine. There is no need to hand them over to Xinghua. I'll do that after I have fully comprehended it. If I make a breakthrough, I can hand this thing over to scientific researchers to study it. Maybe it will be of some help in improving technology. I made a fortune. Li Xingming smiled and began to think about his better life in the future. Chapter 265, 2 Necklaces. As in previous years, this year's freshmen were also arranged to go to the secret realm for trials. Because of the lessons learned last year, this year's inspection and preparation work was very strict to ensure that no accidents would occur. Other grades, on the other hand, practiced and attended classes step by step. At the same time, the evaluation of scholarships was also in progress. Chen Mou, who skipped classes all day during his freshman year, was unexpectedly awarded the first prize in the school. The reason was that he led the demon ape away in the Black Forest, sacrificed himself for others, and saved many classmates, which greatly added points to him. In addition, there are also many bonus points for the first place in the Little Star Hua ranking. The first prize is 3 million. This is the Mingshan flower and Haiyan Jue you want. In the coffee shop, Lin Sichen handed over 2 spiritual medicines. The Mingshan flower is mainly used to improve mental strength, while the Haiyan Jue is mainly used for the body. The medicinal power washes over the body like a tide, and the effect is long-lasting and relatively mild. If this kind of spiritual medicine is not used for breaking through the barriers, but for daily cultivation, there is no need to swallow the whole plant, and it can be taken several times. For example, the Mingshan flower has many petals. You can eat 1 petal each time, and eat another petal every few days. Haiyan Jue can also be cut into several portions for consumption. This way the medicinal power can be better absorbed. The 2 spiritual medicines cost Chen Mou a total of 13.5 million. Thank you, Sister Chen. Chen Mou thanked her, and then took out a blue diamond necklace. This necklace, I'll give it to you. Chen Mou took 5 necklaces, gave 1 to Xiaobei and 1 to his mother, and there were 3 left. Here, thank you. Lin Sichen handed the necklace over, and her fair face flushed slightly. Is Chen Mou going to confess to me? By the way, there is also this one, you can give it to Chuanzuo. Chen Mou took out another one. Lin Sichen. Are you doing wholesale here? He took one after another. It seems that he was being sentimental. Chen Mou's behavior was more like he accidentally got a few necklaces and had no place to use them, so he could only find a few people to give them out. Then I'll thank you on behalf of Chuanzuo. Lin Sichen didn't bother to be polite with Chen Mou. The necklace was well made and had a good color, but it wasn't expensive. It was probably only about 1 million. This amount of money was nothing to Lin Sichen. The 2 drank a cup of coffee in the cafe and exchanged their cultivation experiences. Although they were at similar levels, some of Chen Mou's views pointed directly to the true meaning of cultivation, which was very profound, making Lin Sichen feel that he had gained a lot. This was not the first time, and Lin Sichen was not surprised by this. The 2 had exchanged views several times before, and each time Lin Sichen felt that he had benefited a lot. Why do I feel that your understanding of cultivation is more comprehensive than my great-grandfather? Lin Sichen was a little emotional. Chen Mou's view of the universe, law, and particles formed a huge system that was all-encompassing. His knowledge seemed to be no less profound than Lin Sheng's. It's just that I read a few more books and did some research. Chen Mou did not respond directly, but lightly passed the topic. After a while, the 2 got up and left. Sister, look what I brought you. Lin Sichen ran to find Lin Chuanzuo. What a beautiful necklace, sister, are you going to give it to me? Lin Chuanzuo's eyes lit up. It was given to you by Chen Mou. Ah. Lin Chuanzuo lowered his head, a little embarrassed. Then why didn't he give it to me personally? Well, because he just gave me one, and then asked me to pass this one on to you. Lin Chuanzuo's expression suddenly changed from cute to angry. This guy is so insincere, he didn't even give the gift in person. I don't want this necklace. Lin Sichen said puzzledly, why are you angry instead? You should be happy to have a gift. Lin Chuanzuo stomped his feet. This guy is very bad, he wants to have 2 boats at the same time. Lin Sichen was almost amused by her sister. Is Chen Mou so blatant? Since you don't want it, forget it, I'll give it back to Chen Mou. Lin Sichen pretended to take back the blue diamond necklace. Hey, wait. Lin Chuanzuo hurriedly called Lin Sichen. It's worth it. At least it's worth some money. Give it to me. Lin Chuanzhuo's human nature was quickly revealed. He handed the necklace over, but he still did not forget to remind, "Sister, don't be fooled by this guy. Be careful. He is very bad." Lin Sichen. How dare you say that? Who was fooled by Chen Mou, thinking that he really has a disease that makes him sleepy in class? Lin Chuanzhuo. Anyway, just be careful. Although his IQ is a little lower than his sister's, he has to be tough. Lin Sichen said with some melancholy, "I think you are the one who is most likely to be deceived by Chen Mou. Tell me honestly, do you have a good impression of Chen Mou?" Lin Chuanzhuo hesitated. I don't think so. I just feel happier when chatting with him. From childhood to adulthood, other people have made friends with me with a purpose, most of whom are attracted by the power of the Lin family, but Chen Mou is a little different, and he doesn't seem to take the Lin family seriously. Because he is confident that he can build power with his own strength, he naturally won't think about clinging to power. Lin Sichen said concisely. Lin Chuanzhuo nodded like a chick pecking at rice, feeling that his sister is smarter than himself. The two sisters chatted for a while, and Lin Sichen said goodbye and left, shaking her head gently on the way. This sister seems to be hopeless. Time passed day by day, and Chen Mou practiced steadily in the school, and from time to time entered the virtual battlefield to start the ranking battle. As a golden god, Chen Mou had to match for a long time before he could match an opponent. Students at the beginning and middle stages of Miracle Masters were no longer his opponents. Even when facing a high-level Miracle Master, Chen Mou was still able to fight without the blessing of the ocean power. After all, the difference between the two was only a small realm, and this gap could be made up. During his sophomore year, Chen Mou firmly sat on the throne of the first place in the Little Star Hule ranking. Occasionally encountered a few challenges, and he easily won, declaring his position unshakable. Su Dao challenged Chen Mou the most times, but each time he had a hard time getting away with it. After each failure, the old voice would sneer triumphantly, "It's true that you're the eternal runner-up. You were suppressed by Su Hen before, and you could say that the other party was older than you. Later, you were suppressed by Chiu Xiaoxi. It's not easy for you to be in a different school, and you were suppressed by Chen Mou again. But don't be discouraged. Being the eternal runner-up is also a skill. No matter how strong your opponent is, you can always get second place. Stinky old man, you're so noisy." Su Dao was a little dissatisfied. "Although I lost, I also learned a lot of martial arts moves from Chen Mou. Generally speaking, I still made a profit. Why don't you learn from me?" No. Chapter 266. Chen Mou, my grandfather is looking for you. In Xinghua Academy, the rankings of the list are changing. Although the Xinghua list and the Xinghua list have some negative effects and have caused a lot of fighting, their positive significance far outweighs the negative significance. In order to have a place on the list, many students are holding back their energy and practicing hard every day. The university environment is actually very relaxed. There is no teacher forcing you to study, and even skipping classes is rarely controlled. The existence of the list, like the grade ranking, can well encourage students to strive consciously. Just like Chen Mou's class, this year's freshmen have also begun to exert their strength and grab some seats on the Xinghua list. Having old qualifications and entering school early does not mean anything. If you are lazy in practicing, I am afraid that the practice time of 2 years in school is not as long as that of others in 1 year. In addition, practice also requires talent and methods. If the method is wrong, it is useless to practice hard. However, even in the second semester, the top 10 positions on the Xinghua list are still as stable as Mount Tai, firmly in the hands of sophomores. These top 10 are the 10 Miracle Masters. Even the 11th and 12th are at the level of Miracle Masters, but unfortunately, their combat power is a little bit inferior to that of the previous ones, so they can only be ranked here. He took a look at the rankings published on the website, gritted his teeth, and was somewhat helpless. These guys are as solid as a piece of iron, and there is no way to get in. As a freshman, his record is not bad, and now he ranks 20th on the Xinghua list. In front of him are 2 provincial champions from other provinces. The 3 of them fought fiercely, and they refused to give in to each other, and the rankings changed frequently. Although they often fought, the 3 of them also had a sense of mutual respect and a common hatred of the enemy. This group of sophomores firmly locked their positions on the list. Not to mention the top 10, even the top 15, no freshman can break into it. They have now reached the realm of the high stage of miracle apprentices, which is comparable to the senior brothers and sisters after the 12th place. But after all, the other party has a deep foundation, proficient combat skills, and their combat power is still higher than them. While Chen Mou stabilized his position on the Xinghu list, he also launched an attack on the Xinghu list. After a series of challenges, he successfully entered the top 10 of the Xinghu ranking. In the last battle, Chen Mou defeated a senior brother who was at the high level of Miracle Master with the realm of the middle level of Miracle Master, which gave the world a new understanding of the difference between realm and combat power. Not long after, Chen Mou successfully promoted to the high level of Miracle Master, causing quite a stir. This person is really a bit weird. The higher the realm, the higher the difficulty. This difficulty is not a linear growth, but an exponential growth. Why don't we feel this in Chen Mou? Many students discussed enthusiastically at the forum. The creative team of today's brief was delighted to have another news to write. At the beginning, a senior brother in the 4th year broke through to the high level of Miracle Master, and they took it out and wrote a separate news. Now Chen Mou is still in his sophomore year, and he has reached this realm, which is really worth writing about. Zheng Xiangming once again made an effort to promote Chen Mou, and at the same time wrote a long article of 10,000 words, deeply analyzing the reasons why Chen Mou's realm was promoted so quickly. Of course, because Chen Mou's interview was rejected by the other party, the source of the information was all indirect, and Zheng Xiangming could not guarantee how true it was. Chu Xiaoxi hasn't replied to my letter for 2 months. Chen Mou returned to the dormitory, played with Xiaobei for a while, and lay on the bed, suddenly realizing this fact. He and Chu Xiaoxi have always maintained correspondence. Except for the winter and summer vacations, they usually write a letter every 1 or 2 weeks, and if the time is long, they write a letter every month. Now, 2 months have passed unknowingly. Chen Mou took out the first few letters and read them. These letters, Chu Xiaoxi seems to write more official, with less friendship and more courtesy. Alice. Chen Mou sighed. Perhaps the awakening process of Suzuka has been advanced again. This mixed-haired bird is really annoying. If I have the strength, I will pluck its feathers for you. Chen Mou was a little irritated, but helpless. With his high-level realm of Miracle Master, he was still unsure. At least he had to be promoted to Law Scholar before he could try to interfere with Suzuku's will. During the whole sophomore year, Chen Mou bought a Mingxian flower and Haiyan vine every month. The money was spent and his strength was steadily improving. In general, the money was well spent. However, looking at the rapidly shrinking bank card balance, Chen Mou was still a little depressed. At the end of the sophomore semester, Chen Mou had been promoted to the high level of Miracle Master for some time. Not only did he stabilize his realm, but he also vaguely touched the threshold of the Law Scholar. Of course, touching it and really breaking through are two completely different things. It is still too difficult to break through to this realm. In small cities, there are many high-level Miracle Masters, but Law Scholars are relatively rare and are real big shots. Many aristocratic families have a large scale of family assets and can also use cash flow to buy spiritual medicines. Don't they want to cultivate a Law Scholar to stabilize the family? Of course they want to. They dream about it, but it can only be a dream. It is impossible to break through the barrier simply by relying on spiritual medicines without realizing the power of the law. Many people are stuck in the realm of high-level Miracle Masters. After more than 20 or even 30 years of hard practice, they have already faintly felt the power of the law, but they still cannot break through. This uncomfortable feeling makes them almost vomit blood. From hope to despair, it took a long time. Breaking through the great realm is so difficult. In this regard, those who are at the high level of Law Scholars and want to be promoted to saints have the same feeling. Chen Mou now has already vaguely felt the power of the law. However, it will take a long time to achieve the point of resonance with the law. With his memory, he can take fewer detours, but taking fewer detours does not mean not walking. The track leading to the front still needs him to open up step by step. In addition, spiritual medicine is also a big problem. Although spiritual medicine is not necessary for Chen Mou's breakthrough, the sea swallow art he practices can directly extract nearby energy. But with spiritual medicine, it is easier after all, and the progress is greatly accelerated. Unfortunately, Chen Mou doesn't have much money now. Forget it, let's take the exam first. Chen Mou reviewed the knowledge points of this semester, and then entered the examination room and started answering the questions according to the arrangement of the Academic Affairs Office. These questions were not difficult for him, and he could answer them easily. Summer vacation is here, and I'm halfway through college. Chen Mou sighed, feeling that his youth progress bar had run a long way back. Chen Mou, are you free during this summer vacation? My grandfather wants to invite you to our house. Chen Mou did not go home immediately, and planned to stay in school to continue practicing for a while. At this time, Lin Chuanzuo came up to him. Your grandfather. Chen Mou was a little confused. What did he want to ask me for? Could it be that he was impressed by my technical ability and was going to promote me to general manager? Chapter 267 Lin's Manor. Qing Province. Lin's Manor. This is a manor covering an area of 10,000 square meters, with clear skies and green grass everywhere. Next to it is an endless ocean with azure blue waves. No matter who comes here, while sighing at the luxury of this place, they will also be shocked by the majesty and power it carries. This is the home of the Hall of Fame family, the Lin family. Two figures, one old and one young, appeared in front of the gate of the manor. The old man's hair was gray, showing some signs of old age, but his body was still straight. He is an old professor at Haiyan University of Science and Technology, named Qiao Zhangping. He is over 90 years old this year, but because of his cultivation, he is still very energetic. Haiyan University of Science and Technology is a school specializing in scientific research and does not pay much attention to cultivation. Qiao Zhangping's realm is not very high, he is just a miracle apprentice, but at this realm, his lifespan is not short, and it can reach about 300 years. So don't look at Qiao Zhangping's appearance. He looks so old, in fact, at this moment, he can still be considered young and strong. Under the current medical and dietary system, ordinary people with better family conditions can live for more than 100 years. Beginners can live for more than 200 years. Miracle apprentices can live for more than 200 years, close to 300 years. Next to Qiao Zhangping is a young girl with a tall figure and fair skin. Her name is Du Yongxiu, who is currently studying for a doctorate. She has a high talent for scientific research and is Qiao Zhangping's favorite student. Before entering the manor, just looking at it from a distance outside, both of them were a little shocked. The buildings and natural scenery here are all full of a magnificent atmosphere. Although the campus of Haiyan University of Science and Technology covers a larger area than this, it is a school after all, with a large number of people, while this is a family territory. The Lin family is really bold. Du Yongxiu sighed. Not bad. Qiao Zhangping was a person who had experienced storms and seen the world after all. The shock was only for a moment, and he quickly returned to normal. Teacher, I wonder why the Lin family invited you here this time. Du Yongxiu asked with some doubts. Du Yongxiu did not receive an invitation, but Qiao Zhangping brought her here to let her see the world. I heard that it is related to a research and development project. Not only me, but also many old friends in the academic world have come. It's a big deal. However, the content of the research and development is kept secret for the time being and has not been disclosed to us. I guess they will tell everyone when everyone is gathered. This is also the reason why I brought you here. You have good talent. If there is really a big project, you can participate appropriately. Even if you just help out on the side, you can benefit a lot. A sharp light flashed in Qiao Zhangping's eyes. This time, several old friends who are familiar with each other have received invitations. It seems that there is a real big project. However, whether to participate in this project or not is still in their hands. The Lin family will not force them. It depends on the specific content of the project and whether it can arouse their interest. The two stepped forward, and when they arrived in front of the gate, a uniformed staff member hurriedly came out to greet them. Hello, I am Qiao Zhangping. I came here at the invitation of the Lin family. Qiao Zhangping said politely. Hello, Mr. Qiao, please come this way. The staff hurriedly welcomed Qiao Zhangping in with 12 points of respect. Qiao Zhangping is old and virtuous, with strong skills and great reputation. He once made a major scientific breakthrough, which was highlighted by the national news station at that time. The staff first took Qiao Zhangping to the rest area, let the two of them rest, and brewed a pot of tea. This tea is also a bit particular. It is a special top-grade calming tea. It has a great effect in relieving fatigue and warming the soul. It is expensive. Lin Huafen, the current head of the Lin family, arrived quickly and shook hands with Qiao Zhangping in a friendly manner. In terms of attitude, He was also very respectful, which can be said to give Qiao Zhangping enough face. As for Du Yongxiu, Lin Huifang just nodded slightly. Even so, Du Yongxiu was slightly excited. Lin Huifang is a real big shot. He manages the huge Lin family. He has a high level of cultivation and is extremely powerful. He can treat her like this because of her teacher's face. After talking with Qiao Zhangping, Lin Huifang did not rush to leave and found a seat in the rest area. Soon, 5 more old men came. 4 of the old men were alone, and one of them was accompanied by a young man. Lin Huifang went forward and shook hands with the 5 old men one by one. His attitude was warm but just right, showing his superb communication skills. Qiao Zhangping wanted to ask Lin Huifang why he invited them here, but after a look, it seemed that everyone was not here yet, so he simply remained silent. It is estimated that when everyone is here, Lin Huifang will take the initiative to tell him without him asking. After a while, another man and a woman arrived. Both of them were young people. The woman was youthful and lively, with a superb face, and the man had an upper middle appearance, a slender and strong figure, and an extraordinary demeanor. Du Yongxiu looked at the newcomers with some curiosity. Why did these 2 people come alone? Where is their teacher? Grandpa, I brought Chen Mou here. Lin Chuanzuo shouted before they arrived. The 2 newcomers were naturally Chen Mou and Lin Chuanzuo. Lin Huifang stood up from his seat and greeted them, extending his right hand and gently shaking hands with Chen Mou. Lin Huifang introduced himself. I am Lin Huifang. This is Vice President Chen. I have only heard of him but never met him. After you resigned, Zhang Yuan complained to me that you had lost a great general. Hello, Mr. Lin. I am Chen Mou. I have heard of you for a long time. Chen Mou was just wondering how to address the other party, and when Lin Huifang spoke, he addressed him by his position. After chatting for a few words, Lin Huifang asked Chen Mou to sit down and ask someone to make a cup of tea. This scene was a bit meaningful in the eyes of others. Obviously, Lin Huifang's attention to Chen Mou was not less than that of other old professors, and even more than that. Du Yongxiu was a little stunned. This new young man looked younger than herself. Why did the head of the Lin family pay so much attention to him? People came one after another, including elite members of several domestic mecha companies, such as Zhang Yuan and Song Han, who were present. There were also experts and professors from the 4 famous universities, and well-known scholars from other scientific research university alliances, and high-level experts with great achievements in space technology. As the number of people gradually increased, everyone had a premonition that this was a truly big project. Some of them were invited by the Lin family, and some professors from the 4 famous schools were invited by the principals themselves. The principals of each school were all members of the Hall of Fame. Moreover, the 4 major schools that had always been secretly competing with each other were now working together, which was a rare thing. What was even more rare was that the 3 domestic mecha giants that had been fighting fiercely gathered here, and it seemed that they were going to work together. Chapter 268 Haiyan Mecha. After a while, 30 or 40 people gathered in the rest area. Each of them was a well-known figure in the industry. If this scene were shown to the public, it would be enough to shock the industry. Lin Huifang looked around and said, "Okay, everyone should be here. Now please follow me to the conference room." Everyone followed. In the conference room, there was already a person waiting. This person was dressed in white, with a handsome face. Lin Shen. Everyone entered one after another and was shocked when they saw the young man sitting at the long table. Even some people who didn't know him understood who the other person was after hearing the exclamations of others. "Hello, everyone, please take a seat." Lin Tanghuang's attitude was very gentle and polite. Chen Mou found a seat and sat down in a strange way. It seemed that this matter was not small, and it even alarmed Lin Shen. If it was an ordinary matter, it would be more than enough for Lin Huifang to handle it. After everyone sat down, Lin Tanghuang said, "Hello, everyone. I am Lin Tanghuang. I am really sorry to ask you to come here in person. I came here this time mainly on the order of the military advisor to invite you to participate in the development of a project." As soon as the words fell, everyone looked at each other, and they were even more shocked. The term military advisor is just a job title. There may be many military advisors in Huiki, but from Lin Tanghuang's mouth, and using the word ordered, then this military advisor can only be that person. One of the 3 emperors, military advisor Tang Jianan, is known as a man who can predict the future. This person not only has a very high level of cultivation, but is also said to have the ability to predict the future. Under his command, Huqi won several incredible victories and severely damaged the main force of the Qingyang domain. However, even so, the potential strength of Qingyang domain is still much stronger than that of Huqi. Under the offensive of Qingyang domain, the alliance of human countries can only adopt a defensive counterattack strategy. Lin Tanghuang continued, "Before we begin, I want you to sign a confidentiality agreement to ensure that what happened today will not be leaked." He asked people to distribute dozens of paper agreements. Qiao Hangping signed his name readily. It was just a confidentiality agreement, which was nothing. Lin Shengdu had personally participated in the event, so how could he not give him this little face? Chen Mou glanced at the content of the agreement casually. It was nothing more than saying that it must be kept confidential, otherwise he would be held accountable. Pick up the pen and sign your name. After a burst of swish, everyone signed their names and handed in the confidentiality agreement. Okay, then I will explain the purpose of inviting you here. Lin Tanghuang casually pressed a remote control, and a picture jumped on a giant LCD screen. On the screen, in the starry sky, and in various places on alien planets, battles broke out one after another, and the flames of war were everywhere. We know that war is all about money. It is not only a competition of technological strength, but also a competition of financial strength and even manpower. After a battle, the amount of money consumed and the number of deaths are both terrifying figures. Such battles, over the years, not only we can't afford it, but the aliens in Qingyang domain can't afford it either. Originally, we have entered a relatively tacit stage, each resting and recuperating and temporarily suspending the fighting, but during this period of time, the offensive of Qingyang domain has begun to become fierce again, and it is likely to continue to strengthen. To be honest, we humans are slightly inferior to Qingyang domain in terms of the number of cutting-edge powerhouses and technology. Of course we have a lot of weapons, various interstellar battleships, nuclear weapons, interstellar missiles, A-class mechas, S-class mechas, God-class mechas, etc., but the opponent's weapons are more and stronger. The military advisor was inspired by this fact and specially asked me to gather you to develop a new generation of stronger and more deterrent mechas. On the other hand, the research and development optimization process of antimatter has begun, led by several old professors of Tsinghua. I believe that in the near future, the cost of producing antimatter can be greatly reduced. And on our side, we have to design a mecha accordingly, using antimatter as energy and adding space strike technology. This mecha, tentatively codenamed Cheyenne, its cost and lethality are both above the god-level mecha. Everyone looked at each other and saw each other's shock. Some familiar professors even exchanged a few opinions in a low voice. Qiao Hangping said, "Lin Sheng, this mecha design is very difficult. The god-level mecha is already the pinnacle of domestic mechas. Its and S-level mechas have extremely amazing lethality. They are not sold to civilians at all, and are all used in the military combat field. How easy is it to design a Cheyenne mecha with combat power above the god-level mecha?" Lin Tanghuang stretched out his hand and pressed lightly, and the voices of the crowd subsided. "Yes, I know it's very difficult, so I invited you to come here to discuss this matter. Among you, there are experts in mechas and professors who have done in-depth research on space technology. It can be said that you are the top in your respective fields. If you can't do it, who else can do it?" Seeing that everyone's faces showed a thoughtful look, Lin Tanghuang continued, "We Huqi country urgently need a stronger weapon that can tear open the Qingyang territory's defense line and deter the other side. As for the budget, the country will fully support it. It is initially estimated that the cost of a mecha is about 100 billion. If necessary, it can be further increased. Win this battle of national destiny at all costs." Lin Tanghuang's words were loud and his attitude was very tough. This interstellar war can no longer be stopped. Both sides are killing red-eyed, and the hatred accumulated over the years is burning the reason of both sides. In addition, there are considerations for national development. Years of fighting have almost dragged down both sides. Even if they stop, the national strength will probably stagnate or even regress for decades. However, once this war is won, it will be a winner-takes-all situation. Everything belongs to the winner. It is foreseeable that the victorious side will usher in a leap in both economy and technology. How can we stay out of the rise and fall of the country? I am willing to do my best for this research and development plan." Qiao Hangping responded first and agreed. Under his leadership, Several others also agreed on the spot, if I can do my part for the country with my rotten body, it will not be in vain. Lin Tanghuang said, don't rush to agree on this matter on the spot. You can find a place to think about it here in my Lin family first, and discuss it with your family. At the same time, we will arrange special personnel to discuss the treatment issue, so that you will not let your efforts go in vain. In any case, I would like to thank you all for your efforts on behalf of Huoqi. Lin Tanghuang bowed lightly as soon as he finished speaking. Chapter 269, Free Supply of Cultivation Resources. After everyone left, Chen Mou paced in the Lin family manner, somewhat hesitant. This R&D plan is a national-level strategy, and Chen Mou should agree to it both emotionally and logically. Chen Mou did want to agree, but this would inevitably take up his time for cultivation. Chen Mou now needs to reach the realm of a law scholar as soon as possible to solve the hidden dangers of Chiu's Ioxi. It can be said that Chen Mou is racing against time, and the sooner he is promoted, the greater the chance. But on the other hand, it is the need of the country. How about it, Vice President Chen? Have you considered it? Lin Huofang happened to pass by, and seeing Chen Mou frowning, he couldn't help but ask. Chen Mou finally made up his mind. 1.5 years. After 1.5 years, if this project still needs me, I can immediately leave and come to do my part for the country, but I'm sorry to refuse now. Chen Mou is now a high-level miracle master. 1.5 years is the time Chen Mou envisioned to be promoted to law scholar. If it exceeds this time, it will be too slow. There are at least 30 or 40 experts and professors in this project, and I'm afraid that's not all of them. The people who came today are all senior, but the operation of a project still requires the cooperation of many middle-level technical personnel. In general, there are many people, and the lack of him will not have a particularly big impact. But Chiu's Ioxi cannot be ignored, and only Chen Mou can manage it. Even if he tells the Chiu family saint about this, I am afraid that the other party will not believe it. Even if the other party believes it, it is difficult to say whether he dares to go against Suzaku and plot against him. Even if he really dares, the other party does not understand the sole secret method that Chen Mou envisions to restrict Suzaku, and cannot achieve the corresponding effect. In any case, Chen Mou does not trust outsiders very much, only trusts himself. If I can't solve it, it will be in vain to ask anyone to come. Of course, if Mr. Grey Wolf and the Black Forest Ancient God are willing to take action, that's another matter. But this matter can only be thought about, and it is impossible to invite these two great gods. What's more, the relationship between the Black Forest Ancient God and Chen Mou is tense. As for Mr. Grey Wolf, Chen Mou is still afraid that he has a friendship with Suzaku and will kill Chiu's Ioxi in turn. 1.5 years. Lin Huofang was stunned. Does Vice President Chen have any urgent matters to deal with? As far as I know, Vice President Chen is practicing in school every day. The implication is that you don't seem to have any urgent matters except practicing. Yes, I do have an important matter, and it can only be done by me, but my current strength is not enough, and I must break through to the realm of law scholar. Chen Mou nodded. Lin Huofang. Do you have to be so cruel? Break through to the realm of law scholar within a year and a half? Young people nowadays are really crazy. Do you know what a law scholar means? In history, there seems to be no example of breaking through to the realm of law scholar during college. Su Heng of the Su family seems to have broken through to the realm of law scholar not long ago, but he entered the Starry Sky battlefield after graduating last year, and then broke through after a month or two. This has been praised as a rare genius. Lin Huofang pondered for a moment and said, if that's the case, I can negotiate for you. You only need to work 4 or 5 hours a day, and then we will provide you with the resources for cultivation. For example, the Mingshan flower, the blood coagulation fruit, etc. As long as you make a request, we can try our best to provide them. How about it? If you perform outstandingly, it's not impossible to even provide you with an enlightenment fruit. Forget about the enlightenment fruit. How many Mingshan flowers and blood coagulation fruits can be provided? Chen Mou didn't think much of the enlightenment fruit. After all, he had already drunk something better, Xing tears. The enlightenment fruit is mainly used to improve understanding, while the Mingshan flower, the blood coagulation fruit, and the Haiyan vine are things that increase spiritual awareness and improve physical strength. Although the enlightenment fruit is sold for hundreds of millions, Chen Mou doesn't need it. As for wanting to collect it and take it away, it's probably impossible. Lin Huofang was stunned again. Why didn't this person play by the rules? Should he be ecstatic when he heard about the enlightenment fruit? Why did he value the Mingxian flower more? The Mingxian flower is not worth much? I'll give you as much as you want, provided you can digest it. Lin Huifeng acted like a rich man. In comparison, the enlightenment fruit is truly precious. It is so rare that it is hard to buy even if you have money. Well, I agreed to join this project. Chen Mou agreed after thinking about it. This can be said to have advantages and disadvantages. Working 4 or 5 hours a day takes up Chen Mou's practice time, but it can provide practice resources, which can speed up Chen Mou's practice progress. Chen Mou's bank card balance is not much now, and he can't afford any practice resources. Unless he goes to the Black Sea to rob again? I think this road will not be too smooth. In general, joining the project will not make any profit or loss. But if he joins the project, it can also be regarded as doing his part for the country, so Chen Mou is still willing to join. After negotiating the terms with Lin Huifeng, Chen Mou ran to find Xiao Bei. When Chen Mou came here, he brought Xiao Bei with him, but when he went to see Lin Huifeng, Xiao Bei did not follow. After a while of wandering around, Xiao Bei was found in a small playground in the manor. The little guy was having fun with Lin Xuanzuo. "Dad, come and play bumper cars." Xiao Bei noticed Chen Mou's arrival and waved his little hand. "Here I come." Chen Mou got on a bumper car and collided with Xiao Bei. "Chen Mou, be careful." While fighting against Xiao Bei, Lin Xuanzuo drove a bumper car and hit from the side. Auntie Lin is so powerful. Xiao Bei saw Chen Mou's car being knocked to the side and said happily, "Okay, watch me fight 2 people at once." Chen Mou was ready to show his superb driving skills and teach these 2 people a lesson. But imagination is beautiful, reality is skinny. In the case of 1 against 2, Chen Mou's car was knocked back and forth. Qiao's Hangping and Du Yongxiu happened to be strolling by. Du Yongxiu saw the 3 people playing, her eyes widened, a little puzzled. "Look at this guy, he doesn't seem to be very calm, why does Chief Lin think so highly of him?" In Du Yongxiu's mind, the serious Qiao's Hangping is the image of an academic master, and Chen Mou is just a young boy. This guy should still be an undergraduate, and he is younger than himself. To evaluate a person, you need to have a deep understanding, not just rely on the first impression. Qiao's Hangping taught, "Xiao Du, I think you also need to combine work and rest in your daily life. Don't be too tense. Playing appropriately is more conducive to inspiring inspiration." "Yes, teacher." Du Yongxiu nodded to accept the advice, and then looked over to see that the trio had given up the bumper car and turned to the merry-go-round. Du Yongxiu was a little envious of the 3 people laughing and talking, but in the end she just watched from the spot without taking any action. Chapter 270, Yang Zixing Blitzkrieg. Everyone dispersed, and people came to discuss the treatment with these professors and scholars. After a period of discussion, everyone agreed. On the one hand, the conditions offered by the state were really generous. On the other hand, being able to participate in such a large project might help improve one's own level. When the project succeeds in the future, as a participant, it will also be an honor. After it was confirmed, the Lin family asked everyone to go back and arrange some unresolved matters. A week later, everyone gathered in a super large experimental base. Chen Mou went home and mentioned to his parents that he had to work outside and might not be able to go home for a long time, but he did not mention the specific content of the work. Originally, he wanted to let Xiao Bei stay at home, but the little guy saw that Chen Mou was going to be away for a long time, and clamored to go with him. Chen Mou had to take him with him. The experimental base is very large, with food and accommodation provided. Everyone was assigned a house with a large area and good conditions. After everyone settled down, the staff distributed another confidentiality agreement. The confidentiality agreement signed before does not allow the news of the project to be disclosed, while this agreement is more rigorous and contains more content, requiring that no details about the project can be disclosed. In fact, this kind of national-level project has already involved the Huaki State Secrets Protection Law. Violation of the confidentiality law shall be punished according to law, and if it constitutes a crime, criminal liability shall be pursued according to law. Huaki State has very strict control in this regard. After all, it involves national security issues. Let alone the participants of large projects such as Haiyan Jue, even ordinary confidential units have confidentiality responsibilities. Some foreign personnel use money to lure employees who have left or are in service in confidential units to sell out the relevant confidential information of the unit bit by bit. Leakers can be sentenced to death at most, depending on the degree of harm caused by their behavior. This is a person who was sentenced for espionage. Sometimes, leakers only get a few million in rewards, but eventually lose their lives. Even if they do not leak state secrets themselves, but their relatives leak them, and they conceal them when they know about them, they will also be sentenced. Under the calm national atmosphere, there are many secret confrontations hidden. There was no swordplay, but it was extremely dangerous. Sometimes, the betrayal of a piece of intelligence would lead to heavy losses for the country. Chen Mou readily signed his name on the agreement. The staff handed over another agreement. "Little friend, please sign one too." Xiaobei was stunned. "Do I have to sign it too?" "Yes, little friends, you have to keep secrets too." Xiaobei saw Chen Mou nod, so he took the pen and wrote 3 big characters on the agreement crookedly, "Chen Xiaobei." This is Xiaobei's ID card name. After all, there is no surname Xiao, so he can only follow Chen Mou's surname Chen. The work quickly got on track, and the corresponding tasks were assigned according to the areas in which everyone is good at. Chen Mou was responsible for the design of the energy core of the Haiyan mecha. The difficulty of this work was much more difficult than when designing the A-class mecha. After all, the A-class mecha is a more mature thing. Although Chen Mou designed a brand new energy engine, the other parts of the A-class mecha had already been built. Chen Mou only needed to make it compatible when designing the energy engine based on these. Now, the rest of the Haiyan mecha is still completely unsettled, and we can only build a rough framework based on the current God-level mecha. A major change is definitely needed. The God-level mecha still uses other energy supply solutions. Although antimatter is also used, it is only used as a supplement and when it explodes. The Haiyan mecha is expected to use all antimatter for energy. Antimatter is much more powerful than nuclear energy and is known as the ultimate energy source. If the design is not good, the energy of antimatter will explode too quickly, and it may raise its base to the ground before killing the enemy. But it will not explode too slowly, and the power will be weakened, and it will not reach the level of the Haiyan mecha that is expected to kill gods. The Haiyan mecha was probably designed to fight against the saints in Qingyang domain. This is not impossible. After all, the ability of the saints is probably at the typhoon level and earthquake level, and the antimatter explosion of the Haiyan mecha can also create such a terrifying effect, or even stronger. However, the advantage of a saint is that he is more flexible, can control the power of laws, and has many changes, while a mecha is more rigid even if it is manually controlled. In general, if this plan succeeds, Huoqi country will be able to produce saint-level masters. A mecha costs hundreds of billions, which is more expensive than an aircraft carrier. It is destined that not many can be produced, but even if only 10 can be produced, it can turn the tide of the battle at a critical moment. In addition, the Haiyan mecha must also add space strike technology and use energy to interfere with space. Chen Mou must also consider this. Chen Mou has seen some super civilizations in his future memories, which directly folded the opponent's space, and everything was destroyed in an instant. The space collapsed and exploded, and the opponent's civilization was wiped out just like that, as if it had never appeared. However, the Haiyan mecha does not need to think about this method. The technological level has not yet reached it, and it can only play with a small range of small-scale space distortion strikes. Even so, if the Haiyan mecha can join the space strike, it can also cause great damage to the opponent. After all, the civilization level of Qingyang domain is not very high, only slightly stronger than the Zhijiaxing civilization. The beginning of a project is the most difficult. Everyone pushed forward the progress bit by bit, and often organized discussions and exchanges during the period. In addition to veteran experts such as Qiao Zhangping, there are many middle-level technicians in the base who assist on the side. Jiangxiu also signed an agreement to learn on the side and help by the way. When Chen Mou was working hard in the experimental base, Yang Zixing was in turmoil. The Zhijiaxing civilization is not only limited to Zhijiaxing, but also rules many nearby planets. Yang Zixing is one of them. Today, the Dongning Research Center of Yang Zixing suddenly encountered a group of uninvited guests. The alarm sounded loudly, and the Dongning Research Center deployed an energy barrier to protect the building. At the same time, weapons immediately launched to counterattack. In the sky, fighter planes flew over, beams swept down, and dense firepower swept everything. Several humanoid creatures with green skin and strong bodies were suspended in the air, folding their arms and sneering, "Is this the Dongning Research Center? What an empty defense." Do you think we can't do anything about it since we are in the rear? Su Heng stood on the observation deck, looking from afar, frowning. Master Heng, I have asked the superiors and received instructions for emergency retreat. Instrument detection shows that the opponent's comprehensive combat power is at least 5 times that of ours. We can't hold on. A man in his 30s, wearing a military uniform, ran over in a hurry. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelists. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 271 is How We Can't Retreat. This research center has a lot of scientific research results. Once the people of Qingyang domain get them, the consequences will be disastrous. Su Heng gritted his teeth. Dongning Research Center is the second largest research center on Yangtze Star. It stores a lot of research materials and technological achievements. If there's enough time, it takes a few days to transfer, and most of the results can be taken away. But now facing the enemy attack, time is tight, and the enemy will not let you transfer the data calmly. The only way is to destroy all the results before retreating. Su Heng thought of this, and his hands trembled slightly. Dongning Research Center is not the largest one on Yangtze Star, and it is usually safer, so the defense force is not very strong, but its weight is definitely not light. If it is really destroyed, how much will the technology of Huaki country be affected? This is the technology accumulation of Yangtze Star for dozens or hundreds of years. If we really want to retreat, can we evacuate as a whole? Su Heng calmed down and asked. The man in military uniform next to him, named Guan Horan, immediately said after hearing this, I'm afraid this is not possible. The enemy has surrounded us, and we can only organize the most elite people to break through. In other words, many people will be abandoned. But this was also a helpless choice. If they stayed and fought to the death, the result would only be that all of them would be killed. The power gap was too great, so they could only try their best to preserve the fire. We can't abandon them, and we can't give up the research results. How long will it take for reinforcements to arrive? Su Heng hesitated. At least 10 minutes. Guan Horan answered very straightforwardly. 10 minutes, which is a very short time at ordinary times, is extremely long at this moment. The communication between them was very fast. It has only been more than 20 seconds since Guan Horan ran here. During this period, the enemy's attack became more and more fierce. The people from Qingyang domain also knew that this was not their territory, and they were determined to launch a blitzkrieg and kill with one blow. Generally speaking, this kind of battle will be settled within 5 minutes. It is impossible to hold on for 10 minutes. Hold on for 10 minutes, we can hold on for 10 minutes. Do you remember the oath we made before going to the battlefield? Su Heng's eyes gradually turned firm. I remember that I was always ready to sacrifice everything for the country, regardless of reward, life or death. That's right, the oath has been made. How can you escape from the battlefield? That's different. Guan Horan was a little anxious. Young Master Heng, if it were me, I would be dead, but you are different. You are very talented and will most likely become a saint in the future. Your value is far beyond ours. You must survive. With your strength, it should not be difficult to break through. Young Master Heng, don't hesitate, please make the decision. Su Heng shook his head. I was born in the Su family. The most profound lesson this family taught me is that I should never take myself too seriously. My grandfather often said that in the torrent of the times, individuals are insignificant. In the eyes of the country, everyone is just a small cornerstone. But the cornerstone also has the function of a cornerstone. It is these ordinary cornerstones that support the country's tall buildings. Today, it's time for my cornerstone to play a role. Pass the order down, everyone enters combat status, we can hold on for 10 minutes. Yes. Guan Horan knew that he couldn't delay any longer. The conversation just now took a full minute. Normally, 1 minute is very short, but at this moment, every second counts. The firepower in the sky poured down crazily, making the energy shield shaky. Let's end it. In the sky, the alien from Qingyang territory laughed sarcastically. There were 5 aliens suspended in the air, each of whom was at the level of a law scholar. One of them was at the middle level of a law scholar, named A Zhao. The remaining 4 were at the beginning level of a law scholar. A Zhao clenched his right hand into a fist and punched the research center from a distance. The sky and the earth exploded, The laws permeated, and an indescribable force pressed towards the protective barrier. A middle-level law scholar could control a small typhoon, and its power was more than enough to cover a city. Hao was one of the stronger ones among the middle-level law scholars, and was not far from being promoted to a high level. Now, with a full-strength attack, the entire Dongning Research Center would be razed to the ground. The protective barrier exploded directly, and the energy mobilized by Hao's punch was slightly weakened, but he still rushed towards the research center violently. Su Heng also swung his fist, gathering his strength to the limit, twisting his body and punching, turning the world upside down. This intention can shake the sky and have the momentum of overturning rivers and seas, but unfortunately, in terms of absolute power, there is still a big gap compared to Hao. The observation tower where he was located was directly shattered. Su Heng stepped on the ground and retreated 3 steps in a row, leaving deep marks. Fortunately, the power of the opponent's punch was still resolved by him, and it did not cause a fatal blow to the research center. We can't fight here. If something goes wrong, the research center will be directly destroyed. Su Heng's heart sank. No matter what, we will suffer a loss and be tied up. You trash from Qingyang domain, dare to fight in the sky. Su Heng's figure soared directly into the sky. Suddenly hearing a completely different pronunciation of words, Hao was stunned at first, and then translated the meaning of this sentence in his mind. You overestimate your own abilities. No one can pretend in front of me, Hao. This kid seems to have some talent, but he is just a beginner in the realm of law scholars, while my Hao has reached the middle stage of law scholars and will soon hit the high stage. Hao laughed grimly, and his figure floated up into the air. Killing geniuses is what I like to do the most. Young master, don't go up and fight him. Our target is the research center. Seeing Hao's figure rising higher and higher, the other 4 people became restless. Although Hao is the leader among them and the strongest, he is only 29 years old this year and is not calm enough. Look, he went up to fight at the opponent's random provocation. No matter what, let's take action and destroy this research center and turn all the data into ashes. One person made a proposal, and the other 3 responded one after another. At this moment, the Dongning Research Center once again generated an energy barrier. When the 4 were about to join forces to break it, 3 law scholars in the research center flew out and joined forces to fight the enemy. One of them was Guan Huan. It's a futile struggle. Although they were restrained, the 4 people from Qingyang domain didn't care. Their fighting power was enough to suppress the 3 opponents, not to mention that the 3 had to divide their strength to protect the research center, which was too restrictive. Go all out and kill them all before their reinforcements arrive. The 4 members of Qingyang domain made up their minds. High in the sky, Su Heng glanced down and frowned. Don't pay attention to them, you can't protect yourself. Hao laughed. Remember my name, Hao. This name will resound throughout the starry sky. Because of me, you are invincible. Chapter 272, Defeat. Hao's thoughts were aroused, and the whole sky darkened, and the wind and clouds surged. As a scholar of the law, words are laws, actions are laws, and in a moment, the rules of heaven and earth are under my control. Energy from all directions gathered on Hao. Lightning danced around him, the power of heaven was mighty, and the world was overturned. Hao was about to attack, but at a glance, he saw a pair of blood-red eyes. The secret method of the Su family's bloodline scarlet. This move can burn the user's essence, blood and potential, thereby obtaining an unparalleled burst. Even in the Su family, not many people have mastered it, because this secret method is too mysterious and many people cannot understand it. Its sequelae are also extremely huge. Depending on the length of use and the outbreak, it can be life-threatening. A slightly lighter case is that the whole body is useless and the potential is burned out. Of course, there are lighter cases, but Su Heng's outbreak at this moment is obviously going to explode to the limit. After a delay, more than 2 minutes have passed. 10 minutes is nowhere in sight. The battle below has already started. I'm afraid Guan Huan and others can't hold on for long. It's obviously not an easy thing for the other party to kill Guan Huan and others, but it's not difficult to take the opportunity to destroy the research center. Guan Huan and others can't resist. The only turning point is that Su Heng wins. So in this battle, Su Heng can't just think about delaying time, but to defeat his opponent. Hao felt a sense of panic inexplicably. What a joke, I'm afraid of this kid. I'm Hao, invincible. Hao laughed and felt that he was really thinking too much. The gap in realm is something you can't cross. The opponent is a genius, but it's still a little worse than me. I can almost kill you with a low realm. Is it your turn to kill with a low realm? One hand pushed out flatly, and the power of heaven and earth was all between the palm and fingers. The world seemed to shake, and several stones on the ground trembled continuously. Hao and Su Heng collided fiercely. Fists and feet moved together, and the attack in an instant was already thousands of moves. It's not only a collision of personal strength, but also a bombardment of heavenly power. Su Heng was as majestic as a god descending from heaven, and his punch was unstoppable. Hao did not resist, but changed his fist into palm, using softness to overcome hardness. Wait until I get through your explosive period, and then see how you die. Hao found a way to defeat the enemy, that is, the word delay. Thinking of this, he was in a great mood, and his body seemed to be a little greener. Su Heng's offensive was like a tide, continuous, and the power of heaven and earth was added, like a Tyrannosaurus Rex coming out of the gate, conquering all directions. Hao felt a little uncomfortable after being punched and kicked. Some of the power of heaven and earth nearby was snatched away by the opponent, and the part he could control became less. What kind of secret method is this? I have a high realm, but I can't snatch it from you. The stronger the explosive technique, the shorter the duration. I will bear with you for now. If you play with me, Hao, you will eventually fail. Su Heng's eyes were full of blood. He took a few steps in the air, like a hawk, like lightning, pressing in front of him, and suddenly punched out. This punch condensed potential energy, and Hao felt that the whole world was trapping him. There was no way to avoid it, and the momentum was unstoppable. Hao crossed his arms and protected his chest. With a click, under the impact of the opponent's power, fine cracks spread in the bones of his arms, and the whole person flew back. Su Heng quickly followed, and there was only a scarlet in his eyes, empty and without any emotion. At this moment, there was only killing. Are you afraid? Hao roared and launched a counterattack, but then Su Heng broke his defense several times in a row, and he looked a little embarrassed. The two people fought in the air. 5 minutes later, Hao was slapped away by Su Heng and disappeared at the end of the sky. Su Heng freed his hand and grabbed it down. Not good. The four people from Qingyang domain, who were gaining the upper hand and about to win, suddenly felt a creepy feeling. The four people dodged quickly, but one of them was locked by Su Heng. With a snap, the whole body was torn into pieces, and blood mist gushed out. Even so, he still didn't die. His head was spinning around, trying hard to gather his body, and his vitality was incredibly surging. Just as Su Heng was about to chase him, Haiyan Jue had already come back and fought Su Heng again. 6 minutes. 7 minutes. 8 minutes. Haiyan Jue's mouth was bleeding a lot, and he was completely being beaten by Su Heng. Below, the man who had received Su Heng's blow had already lost all his fighting power. He gathered his body without saying a word, trying his best to save his life. The scene formed a 3-on-3 situation, but Wan Horan and others had to protect the research center, so they were at a disadvantage. It's impossible. The enemy's reinforcements are coming soon. Young master, let's retreat. The visitor from Qingyang domain, who had the upper hand, suddenly gave up the offensive, protected the seriously injured team member, and fled into the distance. Forget it, I'll spare you today. Haiyan Jue, with an embarrassed face, snorted coldly, and his body shape changed repeatedly, and he also followed. Just as Su Heng was about to chase, he suddenly coughed up blood and stopped. Hao's figure moved quickly, like a fleeting shadow, but he felt a little depressed. The 5 of them came to a small island in the sea, where a man had been waiting. This man had an ordinary face, the kind that would not attract attention in a crowd, but unlike the people in Qingyang domain who were all dressed in green, his skin was not much different from that of the people in Huaki country. Young Master Hao, it looks like this trip is not going very well. A smile appeared on his lips. I met an opponent there, who was younger than me, but he used a blood secret technique, which greatly increased his combat power. The sequelae of this secret technique must be very terrifying, and this man is not far from death. Generally speaking, I still won the final victory in this battle. Hao laughed, obviously not thinking that he was at a disadvantage. This person should be Su Heng. To be honest, I didn't expect him to fight to the death. If he wants to run, I'm afraid you can't stop him. Well, it's over. It's time to fulfill your promise. Where are the resources I want? Hao's face turned cold. This time, We didn't succeed in destroying the research center. When we succeed, it's time to fulfill our promise. Huh? The man standing on the island suddenly turned cold in his eyes, and a murderous intent filled the world. Lord Wang, calm down, calm down. One of Azao's men broke out in a cold sweat and begged for mercy, then looked at Azao. Young master, look at this. Azao also felt a heavy pressure, but still refused to give in. We basically didn't gain anything on this trip. When doing a deal, don't we have to follow the principle of equal exchange? How can we say that we didn't gain anything by destroying Su Heng? His value is not lower than that of the research center. Lord Wang sneered. Anyway, I have given you the information. The two people in the research center who are at the high level of lost scholars are out. You can't get anything like this. Aren't you too useless? Chapter 273, Potential Wasted. Is it because you are too useless? As soon as these words came out, the faces of the 5 people in Qingyang domain turned pale. Anyone who is ridiculed like this would be extremely unhappy. Wang Cheng, you'd better be polite when you speak. Anger flashed across Azao's face, and the temperature around him dropped sharply. Why, do you want to attack me? Wang Cheng narrowed his eyes slightly. Telling the truth will always offend people, so people who dare to speak out on the world don't get along well, while people who flatter are very popular. The atmosphere on the field suddenly became tense. Young master. A person next to him hurriedly pulled Azao. Azao snorted coldly, the thing you want is not in my hand, go ask my father for it, I will send a message to let him pass it to you. Thank you, young master Azao. Wang Cheng laughed, turned around and left, and disappeared in a few breaths. Azao looked at Wang Cheng's departing back and said, you are a fence-sitter, a vulture that eats meat wherever it is. When I, Azao, grow up, will you still have the chance to be arrogant? Young master has unparalleled talent and noble blood. A mere Wang Cheng naturally cannot be compared with you. Now he is just relying on a few more years of practice to be arrogant. After a few decades, he will be nothing in front of you. A person next to him took the opportunity to compliment him. Azao nodded, very satisfied with the man's words, but frowned after a while. It doesn't take decades, more than 10 years will be enough. Yes, young master is right. Another person was not willing to be left behind and quickly responded. Young master, let's leave quickly. It's still not very safe here. What if Huaki people come to chase us? Another person expressed concern. Look at you. Azao looked at him with contempt. Forget it, what you said makes sense, let's go. Dongning Research Center. When the 5 people from Qingyang domain fled, the fighter planes that followed them also left. The research center immediately organized firepower to pursue them and shot down in nearly half of the fighter planes. These fighter planes were unmanned and controlled by programs. The other half pulled away and lurked. Radars and satellites could not track them. Su Heng was seriously injured and had been sent for emergency treatment. The reinforcements arrived in a little over 10 minutes. The leader was a lieutenant general named Meng Liangji. As soon as he arrived, he asked nervously, where is Su Heng? Guan Harn murmured, young master Heng used a secret method to increase his strength to fight his opponent. He is now receiving emergency treatment in the hospital of our center. This. Meng Liangji's brain exploded. Didn't I tell you to retreat quickly? This is young master Heng's decision. I can't interfere. Guan Harn lowered his head. There must be a traitor in this matter. Because Yangtze Star was short of manpower, 2 seniors from the research center went out to perform a mission temporarily. The other party got the news not long after and came to attack. Who leaked the news? We must investigate thoroughly. Meng Liangji felt dizzy. This area was within his responsibility. He was to blame for this incident. Guan Harn nodded, I thought of this too. I have just arranged it. Everyone is under martial law. No one is allowed to leave without permission. They must be investigated one by one. Not many people knew about the departure of the 2 high-level law scholars. Not long after, the results of the investigation came out. The biggest suspect was a man named Pei Bin He, but he had taken the opportunity to leave before the enemy attacked. Yangtze Star immediately issued a wanted order for him, but it was certain that he would not be found for a while. After a few days of emergency treatment, Su Heng's life was saved, but the sequelae were extremely serious and his cultivation level dropped significantly. In fact, the drop in cultivation level was not the main reason. What was more serious was that this secret method burned his potential, and his future cultivation would be twice as effective with half the effort. After his injury stabilized, Su Heng was sent to the Su family on Zijixing via a space jump ship. The Su family had learned about the situation shortly after the incident, but now seeing Su Heng's condition with their own eyes, they couldn't help but sigh. The entire Su family was filled with gloom. Su Heng was the hope for the Su family's rise. Although the current Su family was also very strong, if Su Heng grew up, he would be the second saint in the family. What a great honor. Today's Su Heng is basically useless. His talent is not as good as that of ordinary members of other Hall of Fame families, and he is not worthy of the title of peerless genius. Su Heng's father couldn't help but sigh. I said not to let Haiyan Jue go to the battlefield. He is still so young. It is the right way to practice for a few more years and break through to a higher realm. Now, Alice. At the beginning, Haiyan Jue said he wanted to go to the front line, but he was assigned to the Yangtze Guardian Research Center. I didn't expect that this place, which is usually not very dangerous, would suddenly encounter an enemy attack. Su Heng's mother also gritted her teeth. I heard that all this was caused by an insider. When they learned that Su Heng did not obey the order to evacuate, but chose to fight to the death in order to protect the research center, Su Heng's parents were even more depressed. He was not active in running away, and there was something wrong with his brain. But this was the choice of their two sons. What could they do? In the Su family, there were also some side branches who gloated over the misfortune and did not want Su Heng's lineage to continue to rise. However, these people were only a minority, and overall there were still many regrets. If Su Heng rose, the entire Su family would benefit, and the side branches would also benefit. Su Honghu, the saint of the Su family who was on the battlefield, took the time to come back to visit Su Heng. Su Heng's body recovered well and was no longer in danger. Now he probably retains the strength of a miracle master in the early stage. Because of his damaged potential, Su Heng's future cultivation will be very difficult. I am afraid that he will have to go through a long period of cultivation to return to the realm of the first stage of the Law Scholar, and he will have no hope of impacting the realm of the saint in this life. Haiyan Jue. Su Honghu stepped forward, and the others consciously made way. I'm sorry, great-grandfather, I disappoint you. Su Heng was a little sad. Su Honghu once had high hopes for Su Heng, thinking that Su Heng could take over his job and shoulder the future of the Su family. But now Su Heng obviously does not have this ability. Why don't you retreat? Su Honghu said. I can't retreat. If I retreat, the research center will be destroyed. If I retreat, the rest of us will be slaughtered. If I retreat, I will live in guilt for the rest of my life, and I am afraid it will be impossible to enter the realm of saints. Su Heng's parallel sentences were not passionate, but rather a bit sad and helpless, but he did not regret it. Your choice is right. Su Honghu nodded. Take good rest, I will return to the battlefield first. Su Honghu said goodbye and turned away. He did not say much when he came this time, but he set the tone for Su Heng's actions, so that no one dared to continue to question behind him. Chapter 274 Sword Saint Inheritance. Su Heng was crippled. This news was widely circulated among the Hall of Fame families. In this generation, Qiu Xiaoxi was the one with the greatest potential and the biggest threat, and then it would be Su Heng's turn. Many families were gloating and celebrating Su Heng's crippling. However, some knowledgeable people sighed secretly that the loss of a future saint would not be good for Huaqi's future development. How can the eggs remain intact when the nest is overturned? If Qingyang Domain wins the final victory, I'm afraid their good days will be over. All the rights and status they fought for turned into bubbles. After hearing the news, Lin Sichen sighed softly. It's a pity that you can only take responsibility in times of crisis, Brother Heng. Since you can't become a saint, I'll take your place. Lin Sichen walked along the campus road, her hair flying, her lotus steps graceful, her figure as light as catkins in the wind, with a sense of ethereal and ethereal. She has always been a low-key person. Although she has good talent, it is about the same as that of an ordinary provincial champion. She is not strong enough to make other saints and aristocratic families afraid. However, she whispered silently at this moment, as if she did not think that the realm of saints was difficult. Although Su Dao is a member of the Su family, he has long been marginalized and learned the news later than Lin Sichen. As soon as he heard about this, he asked for leave from school and flew back to the Su family in Yun province. At this time, Su Dao was in a complicated mood, and felt that the pillar in his heart had collapsed. The old voice in his heart sounded, "Why are you frowning, kid? You should be happy. You have lost a big enemy for no reason. In my opinion, sometimes luck is also a kind of strength. If everyone who can suppress you is dead, then you will be the first place steadily, right? Life is unpredictable. Shut up, old man, you are good at talking. I recommend you to do crosstalk. Su Dao said back fiercely in his heart. Your kindness is taken as a donkey's liver and lungs? The old voice sneered and remained silent. After getting off the plane, Su Dao did not take a car, but flew directly to the Su family compound. What are you doing here? Su Heng's mother noticed Su Dao's arrival and immediately turned unhappy. This kid from the side branch has been competing with Su Heng since he was a child. Of course, Su Dao always returns in defeat. Not to mention that Su Heng is a few years older than him. Even if they are the same age, Su Dao's talent cannot be compared with Su Heng. In the eyes of Su Heng's mother, Su Heng is in trouble, and this kid must be gloating. Su Dao ignored him and walked to the front of the bed. Brother Heng. Stinky boy, you don't care about the elders, you are disrespectful. Su Heng's mother muttered, a little dissatisfied, but didn't say anything more. It's Su Dao. Su Heng nodded. Looking at Su Heng's appearance, Su Dao really couldn't be happy. Although he had been suppressed by Su Heng, the other party was also the driving force for Su Dao's struggle for many years. Now that the opponent has been defeated, my struggle seems to have lost its meaning. Su Dao didn't know how to comfort him, and finally just said, Brother Heng, you will get better. I don't count on it. It's good enough to save your life and retain some strength. You have to continue to work hard and shoulder the future of the Su family. Su Heng sat up and patted Su Dao's shoulder. Me? This is not my turn. Su Dao smiled helplessly. Su Heng is indeed the most talented person in the Su family, but this does not mean that Su Heng is the only genius in the Su family. For example, Su Mou, who is studying at Mingdao University, has good talent. He was the top scorer in Yun province in the college entrance examination, but there are at least 4 or 5 people in the Su family who are more talented than Su Mou. Su Heng smiled slightly. Among so many people, I still think you are the best. Don't always think that you have no talent. Just rely on hard work. In fact, hard work is also a kind of talent. In addition, although you are a child of the Su family, you have less cultivation resources. These objective factors prevent your talent from being displayed. Later, I will propose to my grandfather to open up more cultivation resources for you. The real dragon will always soar, and you are not inferior to me. Brother Heng, Alice. Su Dao sighed. In the past, he always regarded Su Heng as an imaginary enemy, but the other party did not regard him as an opponent. The two continued to talk for a while, and Su Dao said goodbye and left. Why do you say that there are always so many people who are traitors in this world? They don't want to be good people, but they have to be dogs for Qingyang domain. Su Dao muttered to himself. Everything is nothing more than for the sake of interests. It's not that I won't betray, but because the chips for betrayal are not enough. If the chips are enough, everything will be easy. The old voice laughed. Boy, you are still young. Su Dao ignored it. This guy has a twisted logic. The sword is the weapon of the king and the tool of the knight. It is said that people who use swords must have integrity, but Su Dao has never seen any integrity in this guy who is called the sword saint. I must avenge Brother Heng and kill all the people in Qingyang domain. Su Dao's eyes were burning with fire. What a courage! The old voice praised, and a burst of applause came out with its own sound effects. In order to achieve this goal, I suggest you learn my inheritance. I used to be a sword saint. My strength is only slightly inferior to that of a god. If you give me time, it is not impossible to be promoted to the god level. If you get my inheritance, the Qingyang domain can be destroyed in a snap of a finger. Su Dao shook his head. I will rely on my own strength to achieve this goal. You don't have to say more. Haha, naive boy, what era is it now? You don't want the golden finger that is delivered to your door, and you still want to fight with others. The old voice was very disdainful. Chu Xiaoxi is the reincarnation of a god, and I can also see that Chen Kai has a Daoyan combat body. This physique is rare in the entire universe. And Chen Mou is not only the reincarnation of a god, but also has the power of the sea swallow. How can you compare? Old man, stop tempting me. Aren't you tired of nagging me every day? I know you must have encountered a powerful enemy and your body was beaten to pieces, so you had no choice but to run to me and want to take over my body. How about this? I think you're pretty miserable. When I have succeeded in my cultivation in the future, maybe I can reshape a body for you. Now don't bother me." The old voice was silent, and after a while he said, "Are you serious about what you said?" "Of course, how can I regret what I said? To be honest, I don't care about your inheritance at all. I, Sudeo, have always relied on myself. Even if you continue to seduce." Sudeo was about to continue his long speech when an illusory ancient book suddenly appeared in his sea of consciousness. "My inheritance is all in there, you can take a look. Don't worry, I can't take over your body just by looking at these words." An old voice came. Sudeo's long speech came to an abrupt end. Then, "Take a look. I have been struggling for a long time whether to give this inheritance to Sudeo. I want to create a character who can rise up by himself and hard work without relying on the golden finger. But since there is an old grandfather, it seems a bit unreasonable in the plot if the inheritance is not given. I think if I write the next one, I might write a person who has no grandfather, no golden finger, and relies entirely on himself." Chapter 275, Saint Li Xingming. Xinghua Academy. Li Xingming sat in his office and took out his cell phone to make a call. "Principal? This is Li Xingming. I'm going to resign. I'm reporting to you now. Please arrange for someone else to take over as the dean." "What's the matter?" "No, it's not that I'm not doing well. I just got promoted to saint yesterday and I'm going to go to the starry sky battlefield." On the other end of the phone, Gerhafton was slightly stunned. "So it was you who caused the big commotion yesterday. I was wondering who it was." Hearing this news, Gerhafton was a little surprised, but only a little. Li Xingming's talent was already very high. He could compete with Zhang Xingtang and Qin Yihan at the beginning. Now that Qin Yihan has been promoted to saint for a while, it is not difficult for Li Xingming to accept his promotion. Gerhafton congratulated Li Xingming, and the two chatted for a few more words before hanging up the phone. After packing up the things in the office, Li Xingming walked towards the experimental area. He came to find an old friend of his, Wen Yudang. Wen Yudang's strength is not bad outside, he has the realm of a high-level miracle master, but in Xinghua where there are so many masters, he seems very ordinary. However, his main job is scientific research. As a nationally famous physicist, he does not have much time to practice. "Yudang, look what I brought you." Li Xingming didn't even knock on the door, and pushed open the door of the laboratory and walked in. When Yudang was doing an experiment and was interrupted, and he was a little unhappy. "What is it?" "You can see for yourself." Li Xingming handed over a white jade bottle. "Is it a little radioactive?" When Yudang opened the white jade bottle and took a breath of cold air, "This thing is very toxic." Li Xingming laughed. "I knew you would be interested." When Yudang carefully observed the liquid in the white jade bottle, there is no doubt that it is radioactive and extremely harmful to ordinary people. This white jade bottle is made of unknown material, but it can actually isolate its radiation? When Yudang did not dwell too much on the material of the white jade bottle. He was more concerned about the liquid. "What is this?" "I don't know either, it seems to be a new element," Li Xingming said. "New element?" When Yudang was a little excited. This was undoubtedly worth studying. After a period of observation, when Yudang determined, this element has radioactive toxicity and can destroy the functions of the human body. "My realm is okay, so I can withstand it, but it may be fatal to ordinary people. We have to use instruments to simulate the specific toxicity, but I estimate that for ordinary people, 1 microgram can be fatal, and 1 gram can kill millions of people." "So scary." Li Xingming was shocked. "Unfortunately, it is still not very lethal to the strong. It may seem scary to poison millions of people, but it must be drunk by people to have an effect. If it spreads into the air, I am afraid the effect will be greatly reduced. I know, you must want to use it to deal with the people of Qingyang domain." When Yudang shook his head. "This is unrealistic, but if I conduct research based on this, maybe I can make some radioactive weapons or something, which may be able to deal a blow to the opponent strong." Li Xingming said, "It sounds good. In this regard, you are a professional, and I don't know so much. Where did you find this thing?" When Yudang asked curiously. "It was discovered by one of my students. You must know him. His name is Chen Mou. He is also a famous figure in our school. I also rewarded him with 10 million. When Yudang laughed, "I know that you, Li Xingming, never do anything that loses money. It seems that you have made a profit." Li Xingming smiled slightly reservedly. "I didn't get any big benefits. I just kept studying the changes in the properties of new elements. I have some feelings and just promoted to the realm of saints. What? You have been promoted to saints? Wen Yuding was shocked at first, but when he saw Li Xingming's smug look, he wanted to punch him in the face. This is called not getting any benefits. He is really a master of pretending. I'll lose. This new element is so powerful that it can also make people feel something and break through. You are willing to give it to me? Wen Yuding was a little surprised. Li Xingming explained, you can't think like that. My situation is rather special. First of all, the technique I practice is somewhat related to the elemental particles. Secondly, even if I don't comprehend this new element, I can still make a breakthrough within 3 years. In general, this new element is definitely useful. It has accelerated my practice progress, but I'm afraid it won't be that useful to other people. It's better to let you study it. Maybe you can draw inferences from one instance to another and develop a powerful weapon. Wen Yuding nodded, this is an element that has never been seen before. Its scientific research value is indeed very high. It seems I have to find a few old friends to study it together. By the way, this new element doesn't have a name yet, Li Xingming said. Why don't you name it? It's an honor to be able to name a new element. Wen Yuding thought about it and wrote a word on the paper. Let's call it that for now. I'll have to study it with the instrument later. If I think of a better one, I can change it. Question mark? What does this mean? Li Xingming pondered the meaning of the word. What's the point? Just pick a rare character to name it. Li Xingming. After saying goodbye and leaving, Li Xingming went to the Li family again. After learning that Li Xingming was promoted to saint, the Li family was excited. What is the meaning of 2 saints in one family? The most powerful family in the whole Huaki is none other than our Li family. After the Li family celebrated, Li Xingming rushed to Yonghui City and found Zhang Xingten. This trip, there is a hint of showing off to the old friend and competitor of the past, finally surpassing you. However, this idea probably only accounts for 20%, and the other 80% is to say goodbye to Zhang Xingten. Li Xingming is going to apply to go to the front line of the Starry Sky, the most dangerous place in the entire battlefield. This trip may take several years. There may be no big problem in the short term, but once the war starts, the saints may perish in it. After a long separation, I don't know when I will return. Rare guest. Zhang Xingtang opened the door of the hall and saw someone coming in front of the door. I'm going to the Starry Sky battlefield. I'm saying goodbye to you. Zhang Xingtang was a little surprised. He let Li Xingming in and made a pot of tea. After pouring a cup for Li Xingming, Zhang Xingtang asked, where are you going? The front line. You have courage. You've changed. How? Li Xingming glanced at Zhang Xingten. Look at what you said. Was I a coward before? I am not the same person now. I have broken through to the realm of the saint. After Li Xingming finished speaking, he glanced at Zhang Xingten, ready to see his reaction. He will definitely be shocked by me. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.